Qian Yo Woon observed. On the river? He realized. Oh, that's where. The scene shifted to the massive fleet of ships anchored in the dark water. A bandit leader shouted commands. Slowly, another bandit replied, "All right, tie it." The leader praised his crew. "Good work. We have to move stuff onto the last ship tomorrow early in the morning, so go to sleep." The crew cheered loudly. "Yay!" A guard yelled at the noisy crowd. "Hey, you guys, shut up. The captain is sleeping." A bandit grumbled back. All right, I get it. Turn off the lights and go back." The guard snapped. "I said shut up." Hidden in the shadows, Yang Danhua asked, "How long has it been since we infiltrated this place?" Baek Ji replied, "I think it's been about 4 hours." Yang Danhua noted, "It's gotten quiet. I don't feel any presence nearby anymore. I think we can go out." Baek Ji agreed. "We've somewhat succeeded. The guards are supposed to come here around 1 a.m., so we have no time. Let's hurry. The Demon Lord and Hyo Bong said they'll get here by midnight with a boat, right?" Yang Danhua confirmed. "Yes, so we need to get the granddaughter before they get here." He pointed toward a specific vessel. "There's the flag. The room near the stern on that ship should be the first mate's room. We'll have to knock those two out. I'll send you a signal. You take the right one, I'll take the left." Baek Ji responded. "All right." 2 guards stood outside the cabin. One yawned. "Yawn," his partner joked. "A bug's gonna go in your mouth." The 2 infiltrators struck simultaneously, knocking the guards unconscious. "I'll watch for people here. You go inside." "All right." He slipped into the room and saw a large man and a woman sleeping together. "ZZ. She looks a lot like the divine physician." He moved closer. Her upper body muscles might be bigger than Sangwa's. The woman opened her eyes. He whispered urgently. "Be quiet, Miss Cam Myung. Your grandmother has sent us here. She asked us to help you escape, so will you come with us quietly?" The woman nodded in agreement. "Don't worry about the man. I only knocked him out. He's my companion," the woman thought to herself. "They look alike. She hasn't learned martial arts, so you give her a piggyback ride." Baek Ji grumbled. "Damn it. This is just like last time." As they tried to sneak away, a torchlight suddenly cut through the darkness. A bandit screamed, "Enemies! It's an ambush!" Yang Danhua thought to himself. "How? I didn't feel any presence." The leader commanded, "Get them all." Dozens of bandits surrounded them on the deck. The captain laughed. "Ku-ha-ha-ha-ha, it's just as you predicted." A strategist in a straw hat replied, "I was just guessing. It was luck." The captain shouted, "Ku-ha-ha-ha-ha, I cannot keep up with your cleverness." The narrator explained, "It was the Dragon Tiger Claw's captain, Bak Hozan." The strategist mocked the intruders. "I never expected them to try and take the first mate's wife." Baek Ji asked in shock. "Oh, what did they just say?" Yang Danhua wondered. "The first mate's wife?" Suddenly, the woman on Baek Ji's back stabbed him in the side. Baek Ji gasped. "Kook!" He threw her off and clutched his wound. Why would the divine physician's granddaughter? Is this what they meant by the first mate's woman? "It looks like she knew we were coming." The strategist ordered, "You best surrender. Even if you killed the Wudang blade, you won't be a match for all of us." The captain added, "You know you can't run away here with how unruly the water is." Yang Danhua realized, it was a trap. I should have asked myself why they would have stationed the ships in an area like this. But it was to isolate us from the beginning. Baek Ji looked at his leader. "Seems like he's given up. Tie them up." A bandit stepped forward with a rope. Hoo, stay still. I won't hurt you." Yang Danhua easily repelled the bandit. "I thought I said you have no means of escape here." Yang Danhua asked calmly, "Who said it's only us two?" The captain scoffed. "Bullshit. Who can come here in the middle of the riv?" A figure suddenly crashed onto the deck from above. Hyo Bong groaned. "Ow. I was so surprised that I forgot how to land on my feet." The captain stammered. "No way." Everyone looked up as the sky began to glow. A bandit shouted in terror. "Sword flight technique?" Qian Yo Woon descended from the moonlit sky, standing majestically upon a floating blade. Qian Yo Woon observed. "Seems like there are about 300 of them, but only 2 of them seem like experts. The one in the bamboo hat must be at around the evolutionary realm. The one who's at the ultimate supreme peak must be the Dragon Tiger Claw's leader." The strategist thought to himself. "The sword flight technique that I've only heard in legends. It's the peak of Qinggang. Then, the person who killed the Wudang blade must be," the strategist asked nervously. "Are you, perhaps a martial arts master of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect?" Qian Yo Woon noted. He must have seen the traces back at the abandoned Sword Valley. "And that blue waistband, you're from the Blue Heaven Society." The strategist reacted in shock. "What? How does he know about the Blue Heaven Society?" Yang Danhua explained. "My lord, I think the divine physician's granddaughter is already on their side and worked with the man in the bamboo hat to play bait. Qian Yo Woon glared at the woman. She flinched under his gaze. Qian Yo Woon declared, I'll take the person you've kidnapped. He used his energy to pull the woman through the air. Cam Myung screamed, K-Yog? Ah, no. Stay still this time, Miss Cam. Qian Yo Woon commanded. Protect her, Baek Ji. Baek Ji responded. Yes, sir. Qian Yo Woon drew his sword and sliced a line into the wooden deck. He warned, anyone who crosses this line gets to be killed by me. Wait, please calm down, my good sir. I get that you're a very strong man, but do you really think you can safely take that woman away from an isolated ship like this? Qian Yo Woon mocked. Are you worried? Why don't we give it a try? The strategist thought to himself. He's not shaken at all by a threat like that. The strategist whispered to the captain. Captain, is the baby perhaps in the cabin? The captain realized. Ah, you want to use that baby? But the first mate asked me to hide the baby in your residence. They don't know about that. The strategist urged. Shake him up a bit. The captain stood proudly. Ahem, her husband and baby are in our hands. You still think she'll help you? The divine physician won't help them if they can't rescue her granddaughter. Yang Danhua reacted in shock. Baby, Baek Ji thought to himself. I was wondering why she was so desperate. It's because she has a baby? I guess she has no choice but to cooperate if her baby is being held hostage. The captain threatened. The baby in the cabin is dead if the captain orders it. If you touch even the hairs on my subordinates, or if Miss Cam makes it out of this ship, then the baby's dead. Do you understand? Hyo Bong yelled. You cowards! You're taking a young baby hostage? The strategist demanded. Let's not create any more ruckus and just hand the woman over. Only then will we let you go. Qian Yo Woon asked coldly. What if I don't want to? Cam Mi-young struggled against her captors. Yoob, the strategist mocked. Ha, your wrong choice could kill the divine physician's great-grandchild, yet you are just as confident. Do you think the divine physician would help you if things turned out like that? Qian Yo Woon ordered calmly. Kill them. The captain stammered. Oh, what? Do you know what you're saying right now? Qian Yo Woon replied. I'm well aware. He moved with blinding speed, striking down the nearby bandits. The captain screamed. Oh, what are you doing? Do you really want the baby dead? Didn't you say you're gonna kill the baby if I even touched a hair on your subordinates? You're not keeping your word, are you? The captain roared. Well, when I put my hand down, kill the baby. This is my last warn. Qian Yo Woon suddenly drew his blade. The captain looked down in horror. He screamed in agony. Kua! My arm! Qian Yo Woon smiled. What are you all doing? His hands fallen. So now, you've got to do as he ordered. The bandits stood frozen in fear. Damn it, the baby isn't even inside the cabin. Qian Yo Woon stepped on the captain's face. The bandits yelled. See, Captain. The captain coughed blood. You're gonna kill the baby. Qian Yo Woon asked. Did you think you could deceive me like that? Hyo Bong praised. As expected of the demon lord. Yang Danhua thought to himself. Did he really know that they were lying? Sometimes, I feel like he can read others' thoughts or hear others' conversations in frequency whispering technique. I think I understand how he felt the six sects. The biggest problem is that woman, though. We can't predict how she'll act because of the baby. The strategist thought in a panic. How did he figure out that the baby isn't here? Chi sense. We have no choice now but to try and kill him while he's focused on the captain. The strategist whispered. Hyamyoung. The subordinate replied. Yes, my lord. The strategist commanded. I'll stall for time, so bring the baby here. If some problem occurs and there's a full-blown battle, then you may just kill it. If the divine physician is to act according to their will, we will have a problem in our plan. So, we cannot have the granddaughter taken away by them. Do you understand? Hyamyoung nodded. Yes, sir. He jumped into the water to escape. The captain begged. Keu-heuk, please, we'll just let you go. No, we'll even give you the baby, so please spare me. Qian Yo Woon noted. I don't think the other guy has the same idea as you. The captain asked. Oh, what do you mean? Qian Yo Woon stated. It means I don't have anything to talk to you about anymore. The captain pleaded. Dalu White. Qian Yo Woon crushed the captain with a powerful blow. Kua! The bandits charged. Why you dare? The bandits were confused as their target disappeared. Huke! What the? He vanished. Qian Yo Woon appeared on the upper deck behind the strategist. You want to play tricks? The strategist turned in shock. Qian Yo Woon raised his hand, summoning several swords with his energy. The swords hovered over the water where the bandits were swimming. Qian Yo Woon asked, Did you think I wouldn't be able to get you if you're in water? The strategist suddenly launched an ambush from the shadows. He thought to himself. He deflected my ambush attacks so easily. Qian Yo Woon mocked him. You're using shallow tricks. Did you think that you could mess with my concentration with just that? The swords plunged into the river, striking the fleeing spies. The men in the water screamed in agony. One of the spies thought to himself, damn it. The other yelled, dive under. The strategist thought to himself, ah, right, even a monster like him can't control the blades from that far. There are 2 still remaining. That should be enough, he declared confidently. Even you won't be able to stop them. I'm sure you know where they're headed to. Do you now get that I wasn't making things up? Qian Yo Woon smirked. He called out, Yang Danhua, the elder replied. Yes, sir. Yang Danhua stepped onto one of the floating blades as if it were a platform. The strategist asked in disbelief. Oh, what? Yang Danhua used the sword to soar toward the distant shore. He landed safely and exhaled. Phew. Qian Yo Woon smiled at his opponent. Oh, no. What a shame. My subordinate arrived first. The strategist shouted. Oh, what the hell? He used the blades as a mode of transportation? He tried to maintain leverage. Damn it. Do you even know where the baby is? Qian Yo Woon answered. The captain's residence? No. The strategist froze. What? He wondered in fear. How does he know that? I'm sure I spoke through the frequency whispering technique. That's impossible unless he overheard. He realized the gravity of the situation. The divine physician and the baby aren't the problem right now. What is most dangerous is that monster-like bastard. I need to somehow kill him, whether that's by drowning him or using some other method. I need to make it out of here and let the Blue Heaven Society know. The strategist looked at the remaining bandits. Since an evolutionary realm martial artist just escaped, if my subordinates and I all attack him at once, it might be doable. Even if all we can do is tie him up, that'll be good enough. A high-ranking bandit yelled at the first mate. First mate, what are you doing? Your captain's dead, and you're just gonna space out? There are more than 300 of you, and you're telling me you're all gonna sit and watch? Do you intend to break the pledge with the captain? The first mate replied, I know, but how am I supposed to kill him? The strategist snapped. It's just one person. You're supposed to be the heroes of the 18 waterways, but you're all shaking in fear. Qian Yo Woon launched a sudden attack. The strategist groaned. Kook, he thought to himself. Hute? It's dangerous. Their blades clashed with immense force. The strategist thought in terror. How is he so strong? I need to run. I need to concentrate my chi into my back and use his power against him. He leapt away, aiming for the lower deck. He planned. He won't chase me since the divine physician's granddaughter is still here. I'll go through the floor and make a run for it. Suddenly, an invisible force pulled him backward. He gasped. Telekinesis? When? Damn it. He was yanked back toward the upper deck. He yelled. It won't work. Losing your high ground? What a stupid mistake. Qian Yo Woon asked calmly. A mistake? Do you really think so? He unleashed a massive technique. Supreme Saber Divine Martial Arts. Dragon's Ascension. The strategist stammered. What? How? Striking down should be stronger. The blue energy overwhelmed him entirely. He realized too late. My blade aura. The explosion threw him against the wooden planks. He coughed blood. Keuheuk. Qian Yo Woon looked down at him. I can't let you die yet. He slammed the man into the deck. The strategist screamed. Kua! The man lay broken on the floor. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. I still can't recognize his face despite having destroyed the bamboo hat. Well, not that it matters. He reached down and grabbed the man's head. The strategist pleaded. Kuuk. Wait, what are you trying to do? Qian Yo Woon smirked. This. He sent a surge of electricity directly into the man's brain. The strategist let out a final, agonizing scream. Kua! The nearby bandits watched in horror. Leader! The strategist collapsed onto the deck. Qian Yo Woon stood over the body and commanded. Hyo Bong, keep him barely alive. Hyo Bong responded. Yes, sir. The remaining bandits trembled with fear as they looked at the fallen strategist. Now then, Qian Yo Woon turned his cold gaze toward the crew. It's your turn, the bandits cried out in a panic. Hayek! He's a monster. Abandon your weapons. Jump into the water? Qian Yo Woon watched them jump and remarked. That's futile. He reached out with his energy. Nano, self-targeting mode. The voice in his head responded. Activating self-targeting mode for 63 weapons is ordered by the user. Target, lock on. Dozens of swords hovered in the air above the fleet. The bandits stared up from the water. In no way. This isn't a dream, is it? Qian Yo Woon clenched his fist, and the swords began to strike. The bandits screamed as they were cut down in the water. Uagh. Kiu Huk. Don't come near me. One bandit wondered in terror. Where the hell did a monster like him come from? Others shouted to the crew on the ships. See, cut the chains. Create distance. He won't be able to do anything to us if his core energy is cut. The men on the deck hacked at the anchor chains. Please, please cut. Qian Yo Woon watched them struggle. Ooh, if that's what you're gonna do, I'll help. He unleashed a blast of energy that shattered the massive chains instantly. A bandit blinked in confusion. It worked, but why is he helping us? There's no way he would let us live. Suddenly, the swords began to pierce the hulls of the ships. A bandit yelled, "Huke! The ship is tilting. What the hell? How can he reach all the way here?" The deck became a scene of chaos. Pull up the anchor. We can't. The ship's M. The bandits fell one by one. Kook! Kua! Kook! One man thought to himself as he died. It's over. I don't think there's a way to make it out of this situation alive. This is what hell is. The entire pirate fleet was decimated. Hyo Bong laughed with admiration. Ha ha! You killed all those enemies at once. You're amazing, my lord. Kam Mi-young sat on the ground, sniffling and crying. Why is she so sad about their deaths? He tried to reassure her. It's almost over. Just hold on a bit longer. I'll bring the baby here soon too. She glared at him with intense hatred. Hyo Bong thought, I didn't want to say this. We're the ones saving her, but she's glaring at us like we're the bad guys. Meanwhile, Yang Danhwa moved through the trees, silently eliminating the guards on the shore. He counted the bodies. This is the 9th one. Looks like everyone's gone to the ship besides the women, children, and those standing guard. He looked toward a building. That stupid show of arrogance. That must be the captain's house. He slipped inside the building. A woman inside the house screamed. Kaya, Yang Danhwa struck her down and muttered. Sorry, I couldn't let you live because you saw my face. He picked up a small infant from the bed. I'm sorry. Sleep for a bit. I can't have you crying. He looked out at the river and saw the ships sinking into the dark water. He thought to himself, sinking all those ships in that short amount of time, did he use that? Hyo Bong called out from the shoreline. Elder Yang, this way. Here. Yang Danhwa walked up to the group. I've carried out your order. Qian Yo Woon replied. Good job. Yang Danhwa noticed the strategist tied to a tree. That must be the demon lord's doing. He thought to himself. I did hear that half the candidates for the young leader position had their arms cut off. I feel chills in my right arm just thinking about it. He turned his attention to Kam Mi-young. Huh? What's wrong with her? Hyo Bong explained. I'm not sure. I didn't undo her pressure points because she looks so mad, but she's still like that. She's staring at us like we killed her. Yang Danhwa showed her the infant. I have your baby. Tears streamed down her face. Qian Yo Woon ordered. Elder Yang, I think you can undo her pressure points now. Yang Danhwa nodded. All right. He released the points on her back. The woman let out a piercing scream. Kua! What are you doing? He warned her sternly. If you scream again, I'll lock your pressure points. She gasped for air. Ha! She looked at him with rage and accused. You killed my husband. Do you think I could forgive you for that? Qian Yo Woon wondered. Husband? Are you talking about the vice stronghold leader? Kam Mi-young shouted. That's right. You knew he was my husband, and yet you still let him die. Baek-ji thought to himself. I can't believe it. To think she was really crying because she's sad. She pointed at Qian Yo Woon and yelled. And you? He reacted. She cried. To kill those people so brutally just because you had power. You really are a demon. Hyo Bong thought to himself. Has this woman lost her mind? Qian Yo Woon smirked. A demon, huh? Qian Yo Woon asked his internal system. Nano, why is a woman who is said to have been kidnapped defending the bandits? The voice in his head replied. She's judged to be suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is characterized by extreme fear or sympathy for perpetrators who threaten one's life. And if the symptoms are excessive, it can lead to love. Qian Yo Woon thought. Ha, so she's showing those symptoms? Baek-ji looked at the tied-up strategist and thought to himself. They said that the granddaughter of the Divine Doctor had a close relationship with the Dragon and Tiger Stronghold's vice leader after they got married, so it was true. There was a lot of sacrifice, but it may be for the best. Since the Divine Doctor's granddaughter is showing a strong hostility towards them, things may not turn out the way they want. Kam Mi-young shouted. Since you came here at my grandmother's request, it's obvious what your goal is. You must want my grandmother to save someone in exchange for saving me. Please calm down, Lady Gam. We heard that you were kidnapped, and they even used the baby to threaten us. So we didn't have time to figure out the exact details. She narrowed her eyes and asked. Does it all work out just because you didn't know? Then let me clear, she declared. You will never get what you want. Hyo Bong asked in confusion. Pardon? What are you talking about? She stated firmly. I'm saying I'm not going. If you force me to follow you, I will tell my grandmother so that you will never be able to achieve what you want. You must lose something you hold dear too. Qian Yo Woon watched her and thought. What a pity. You must have mistaken us for those petty bastards from the orthodox sects. He spoke aloud. Well, even if that wasn't the case, you must not know about our cult leader. Kam Mi-young flinched in shock. Cult leader, the strategist thought in terror. Cult leader, there's only one person who uses the title of cult leader in the whole of the Central Plains. Don't tell me. Qian Yo-woon walked closer and asked. Do you think you're the only one who knows the pain of losing a precious person? Whether you're in love with or cherish the person who kidnapped you, that's none of my business. Kam Mi-young yelled. Ho, even if you threaten me like that, I will never change my mind. I will never let Grandma help you, Qian Yo-woon asked with a smirk. Will you really be able to do that? Dead men tell no tale, you know. She stared in horror. Qian Yo-woon turned to his subordinate and asked. What do you think, Elder Yang? Yang Danhua stepped forward and replied. Well, it's not rare for hostages to die in a fight. Even recovering their dead bodies is enough. The divine doctor will probably be sad, but there's no helping it. Kam Mi-young asked in a panic. Ooh, wait a second. Are you thinking of Kay killing me? Didn't you come here to save me? Qian Yo-woon laughed and said. Yeah, the reason why we tried to save you was because you were the divine doctor's granddaughter. You had no other use than that, but didn't you throw your only value away just now? She gasped. That is. Qian Yo-woon struck her with his palm. Kayak. She collapsed to the grass. Qian Yo-woon looked at his subordinate and said, You must be glad that your child is asleep. The strategist watched them and thought in a panic. These crazy bastards. To think they really killed the divine doctor's granddaughter. Qian Yo-woon walked over and grabbed the strategist by the throat. The strategist gasped. Keek? Qian Yo-woon asked. Did you think I wouldn't know if you closed your eyes? The strategist flinched. Qian Yo-woon smirked and declared. Now it's your turn, the narrator explains. At the same time, Dragon and Tiger Stronghold. A man with a tiger skin on his back walked through the gates. He thought to himself, it's odd. All of those bandits must have come in and rested at this time though. Well, it's none of my business anyway. Since my business is with her. He paused as he noticed something. I can feel something strange over there. He pushed aside some bushes and found a body. He noted, he died after getting his neck broken. Who hid the body here? He stood up and looked around the quiet village. Come to think of it, it's truly odd. I can only feel the presence of about 50 people in the Dragon and Tiger Stronghold. All are women and children. He moved toward a specific cabin. As expected, I can't feel any presence in the vice leader's cabin. Should I try going inside? He pushed the door open and stepped into the empty room. He walked to a nearby hut and knocked loudly. The old man inside complained. Hold on, who in the world would knock so loudly on the door this late at night? He opened the door and gasped in terror. Lord, why are you here at my cabin, great warrior? The man with the tiger skin looked him in the eye and asked. Where is she? He specified. The divine physician's granddaughter. The old man replied nervously. Ah. She should be on one of the ships up the river. The man with the tiger skin smiled. I see, thanks. He walked away as the old man collapsed to the floor. The old man thought to himself. Phew. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. This is why I need to move soon. Who knows what will happen if I get on his nerves, and that monstrous man comes to me. The narrator explained. The Blue Heaven Society is a secret society of the Orthodox faction said to have been created in order to make the skies blue. They are led by the society leader followed by the 5 higher-ups, Heaven's Master, Earth Master, Human Master, Yin Master, and Yang Master. The society is made up of martial artists of the Orthodox faction. Their purpose is supposedly to kill all those who abandon the morals of the Orthodox faction to create a world of righteousness. The scene shifted to Qian Yo-woon standing over the bloodied strategist. The strategist gasped. Huff. That's the organizer Tian of the Blue Heaven Society. Yang Danhua noted. I didn't expect such a radical society to be a part of the Orthodox faction. Hyo Bong sighed. Phew. They're real psychos. He added angrily. I get it if it's just the Orthodox faction, but also killing everyone related to the unorthodox faction and our own cult. They're almost delusional, Baekji stated. They don't care about the process as long as they get the results they want. They don't deserve to be a part of the Orthodox faction. Qian Yo-woon asked. Heaven, Earth, Human, Yin, and Yang. That's very Orthodox faction-like. Are the 5 higher-ups in order of superiority? The strategist replied through gritted teeth. No, other than the society leader. They're all equal in power. Qian Yo-woon commanded. Reveal their identities. The strategist coughed. Qiu ho uhk. Qian Yo-woon thought to himself. His Dantian is weakened, but because of his level, he's got a very strong mentality. I've fed him a lot more of the truth serum than the others, but he's still fine. The strategist groaned. The heavens, master is, Namgung, clans, Namgung Gyung. Yang Danhwa asked in shock. Namgung Gyung? The strategist continued with difficulty. Earth, master is, Wu, Wudang Sec's wise one. Yin master is, Sichuan Tang clans, Tang Pilsun. Yang master is, Yang, master, Kiek. Qian Yo Woon observed. I think the amount of truth serum has affected his brain. TCH, he's still resisting the effects. The strategist yelled. TH the leader is, Habuk Peng. Peng clans, Peng Muol. Qian Yo Woon thought, his breathing is getting weaker. Shit. It's pointless to do this since his Dantian is already destroyed, but I need to endure, at least until he tells me about the leader. He asked the strategist, Hey, who's the society leader? The strategist muttered, The society. Leaders, identity. Only the 5 masters knows. Kia. The man's head slumped forward. Yang Danhwa checked him. He's dead. Qian Yo Woon remarked, I guess that means only Namgung Gyung knows who the society master is. Yang Danhwa agreed. I think so. It's good information, but it'll be hard to find out who he is. He explained. Wudang's wise one and Sichuan Tang clan's Tang Pilsun. Okay, but Namgung Gyung. He's called the Divine Mandate Swordsman, and he's basically the head of the 5 great clans. On top of that, he is the 3rd master of the 17 masters of the Orthodox faction Muram Alliance. And the squad commander of the Demon Slayer squad, which is basically the execution squad of the demonic cult. Qian Yo Woon noted, that's gonna be difficult. Anyway, we still managed to get valuable informa. Yang Danhwa interrupted. My lord, very skilled martial artists are here. I think it must be the Blue Heaven Society. You're right. They're coming. A figure dashed through the trees toward the group. Yang Danhwa noticed the speed. Huh? 6? The man with the tiger skin observed. I definitely felt 2 people. There are 2 more people even if I exclude the dead. What? The visitor looked down at the granddaughter on the ground. The wife. He drew his weapon and charged at Yang Danhwa. Did you kill that woman? Baek Ji observed the incoming strike. A great sword. The 2 clashed with intense force. The man thought to himself. He dodged my sword. Yang Danhwa wondered. Is he at the ultimate supreme peak level? The man pressed his attack against Yang Danhwa. He thought to himself. Damn it. I was gonna get rid of the weaker one first. He looked at Baek Ji and asked. What? Weak? Yang Danhwa warned. Squad leader Baek. I don't think you should let your guard down. He's a level higher than you. Baek Ji asked in surprise. Huh? A level higher? Yang Danhwa noted. He wields 2 swords. Sounds familiar, he realized. Unrivaled sword? The narrator explained. The 5 great martial artists are called the Righteous North, Demonic South, Combative East, Proud West, and Dual Center. No one knows when, but people began calling them the 5 great martial artists. The Alliance leader and the Righteous Sword Sect's sect leader, Righteous North Sword, Li Mok. Qian Yuzhong, the Demonic South Master, who defeated the Unorthodox Faction Alliance in the Battle of the Plains of Guzhou, inherited the title of Supreme Heavenly Demon. Hang Yin, the Proud West King, took on the role of the Unorthodox Faction Alliance's leader after a fierce battle against the Unorthodox Faction's martial artists. There are a lot of rumors, so it is hard to know which are the truth, but the Combative East is said to be the best martial artist even when unarmed. And the Unrivaled Sword, Wang Jian. He is a martial artist who used to be a part of Hydra. There was a time when nearly 10,000 pirates used to dominate the Yellow River instead of the 18 waterways, back when it used to be called the 30 waterways. One day, Wang Jian lost his mother for unknown reasons, and his rage led him to massacre over 3,000 pirates. After that incident, the unorthodox faction rejected him, and he was rejected by the orthodox faction for having killed so many people. After a few big fights, he was not seen again. Wang Jian thought to himself, he was right. He told me not to use both my great swords unless I was about to die. I got found out right away. He analyzed his opponents. What do I do now? That one eye is a better martial artist than me. He looked at the woman again. It's maddening that the first mate's wife is dead, but there's nothing I can do. Then, there is only one option. I'll run. He turned and sprinted back into the forest. Where do you think you're going? Boon Wong thought to himself. He's the guy I was after. He seems to be weaker than me. So why's he charging at me? Boon Wong thought to himself. Not bad. His martial arts seems to be at the ultimate supreme peak level. He's definitely stronger than me. He swings the great sword like it's a normal sword too. I have to create an opening for an attack somehow. Hey, you with the quick feet. Boon Wong asked. What? Boon Wong explained. I'm not leaving because I'm scared of you. I'm just really busy. You mean? Boon Wong tried to leap away, but Qian Yo Woon appeared instantly, blocking his path. Boon Wong thought to himself. Kook, I want to fight him more, but I have no choice. Now that I've been recognized, I need to go tell him. Qian Yo Woon stated calmly. I'm sure you heard me say that I'm not letting you go anywhere. Boon Wong thought to himself. Shit! Boon Wong unleashed a powerful technique. Unrivaled sword judgment. Merciless martial arts sect. Third technique. Boon Wong asked, you think you can stop me with that? Qian Yo Woon caught the massive blade with his bare hand. Boon Wong thought to himself. Oh, what? He's not moving? Eek! I can't push him even with pure strength. Ditch this bastard. He's like him. Qian Yo Woon prepared to strike. Boon Wong observed. A flick? Qian Yo Woon replied. Yep. Qian Yo Woon flicked the blade with one finger, sending a massive shockwave through Boon Wang's body. Boon Wong groaned. Keuheuk. Ueh. The impact sent him flying backward until he collapsed on the ground. Qian Yo Woon walked toward the unconscious man. Yang Danhua called out. My lord, wait a minute, please? Yang Danhua suggested. This man might not be a part of the Blue Heaven Society. Qian Yo Woon asked. He's not. Yang Danhua explained. I'm sure you've heard, but Unrivaled Sword is someone who went into hiding because he was abandoned by both the Orthodox and unorthodox factions. Qian Yo Woon decided. Then, we'll find out his identity and purpose first. Yang Danhua requested. I'll do the questioning this time, my lord. Qian Yo Woon responded. As you wish. A short time later, Boon Wong thought to himself. Did I pass out? Just from a finger flick? You're strong. I'm sure no one your age will be a match for you. I just got knocked out from a finger flick by someone my age, Yang Danhua asked. Are you awake? Boon Wong reacted. Huke? Boon Wong thought to himself. I can't gather my chi. I think the senses in my energy core have been paralyzed. Yang Danhua explained. I've pricked your pressure points. Boon Wong replied. Oh, I see. Boon Wong asked. What are you gonna do with me? Are you gonna kill me? Yang Danhua thought to himself. I wasn't going to use this method, Boon Wong shouted. Please spare my life. Yang Danhua observed. You beg for your life with such boldness. Yang Danhua stated. I can kill you, but I left you alive to ask about you. Boon Wong responded. You can ask anything. I will answer what I know. Yang Danhua thought to himself. He doesn't seem to be a part of any organization. Yang Danhua asked. Can I ask for your name first? Boon Wong answered. Boon Wong. Yang Danhua repeated. Boon Wong? If he's the predecessor of Unrivaled Sword, he would have the last name Wong. Perhaps he's a disciple, then. Yang Danhua asked. Okay, Boon Wong, why did you attack us? Boon Wong gestured toward the dead granddaughter and said, that's because you killed that woman. Hyo Bong arrived carrying the baby. Hyo Bong stated, as expected, Mr. Hyo. Yep. That baby, Hyo Bong replied. Yes, it's her baby. We wanted to save them both, but we failed because of him. Boon Wong asked in shock. You came to save them. Yang Danhua explained. We were asked by her grandmother to come rescue her and her son. But we fell into a trap and were unable to save her. Hyo Bong thought to himself. Whoa, he's really good at acting. Amazing. Boon Wong asked. Are you sure that her grandmother sent you? Yang Danhua replied. We're the ones holding you hostage here. Why would we lie to you? Boon Wong bowed his head and said. Of course, you came with goodwill, and I misunderstood. I'm really sorry. Yang Danhua thought to himself. All right, he fell for it. Yang Danhua stated. No, it can happen. But for what reason did you have to seek her out? Boon Wong explained. I needed her medicine. Yang Danhua asked. Her medicine. Yang Danhua thought to himself. They weren't acquainted with each other? He was just searching for her for medicinal purposes? Well, I guess the divine physician's granddaughter would be better than most physicians. Hyo Bong looked confused. Hyo Bong accused. You're a druggie. Boon Wong yelled. No, I'm not. Yang Danhua remained silent. Yang Danhua asked. So, what do you need medicine from her for? Hyo Bong muttered. TCH. I'm always the bad guy, Boon Wong explained. I have a sister who's been sick for a long time. The other physicians haven't been able to help her, but she always felt better whenever she took medicine from Miss Cam. Yang Danhua nodded. I see. I understand why you'd be mad that she's dead. Yang Danhua thought to himself. He said he'd tell us everything, but he's withholding the details. Qian Yo Woon interrupted. I think you're mistaken. Boon Wong wondered. Qian Yo Woon asked coldly. Do you think we're having a friendly conversation here? If you want to make it out of here alive, then answer properly. If you give a roundabout answer one more time, I will destroy your energy core and feed you to the mountain beasts. Boon Wong flinched. EGH? That's way too harsh. Qian Yo Woon stood over him like a dark shadow. No, it's not. Boon Wong explained. My sister's sickness is actually very serious. Yang Danhua asked. What is she ill with? Boon Wong answered. Other people just called it a meridian collapse. Miss Cam called it the 9-yin meridian collapse. Yang Danhua and Qian Yo Woon were shocked. 9-yin meridian collapse? Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, Nano, do you know what that is? The voice in his head replied, it is not yet recorded in the data. Qian Yo Woon wondered, there's a disease that Nano doesn't know about. Elder Yang, do you know what that is? Yang Danhua explained, the narrator explained. A meridian collapse is a disease that blocks the vessels because of yin energy that is too strong. It usually affects female children. There is no treatment for it, so those who are affected by this disease have to suffer for their whole lives, but they do not die from it. However, the 9-yin meridian collapse is on a different level from the simple meridian collapse. Those who are affected by this disease are said to possess a near infinite amount of yin energy in their bodies that surpass human levels. Those affected by it cannot handle the negative effects of the yin energy that grows stronger every day, and they mostly die before they reach the age of 20 because of the destruction of balance in the body. Yang Danhua noted, that's quite a unique disease. I've only heard about it too. Boon Wong thought to himself. Her seizures have gotten worse recently, so we used up all the medicine. Now what do I do? The medicine used to last for 4 days, but now it doesn't even last half a day. The woman who used to make the medicine died, so now. He looked at the dead granddaughter and gasped. Ah, Boon Wong asked. Is the person who requested you to rescue Miss Cam also a physician? Yang Danhua whispered to Qian Yo Woon. My lord, this is our chance to make him indebted to us. His sister would be related to unrivaled sword Wang Jian. Even if we can't scout him into our cult, he may be of help one day. Qian Yo Woon replied to Boon Wong. Yes, she's actually a much better physician. Miss Cam learned from her, after all. Boon Wong reacted with joy. Ah, really? Then, can you perhaps ask her to treat my ceased? Suddenly, a massive explosion of cold energy erupted in the distance. Boon Wong screamed. Shit. No way. It's been only 4 hours since I gave her the medicine. Yang Danhua reported. Lord. I think she's not very far from here. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Even if she's nearby, I can feel her cold energy so clearly. How? Boon Wong yelled. It's my sister. It's her energy exploding. Yang Danhua asked. This yin energy is your sister's? I did hear that someone suffering from the disease has an infinite amount of yin energy. But this is way more than I imagined. Boon Wong struggled against his ropes. Please untie me. She'll be in danger if I don't quell her blood vessels. Qian Yo Woon used his finger to slash the ropes. Boon Wong gasped. Hube. Qian Yo Woon commanded. Go in the front. Boon Wong replied. Ah, yes. Qian Yo Woon ordered. Baek Ji, you come along. Hyobong, you stay here and protect the baby. Baek Ji and Hyobong responded. Yes, my lord. They sprinted through the freezing forest toward the source of the power. Baek Ji noted. It's like winter. Had I not used my internal energy, I would have died from the cold. Qian Yo Woon observed. The air around her is wavering. This kind of core energy is unbelievable. Boon Wong screamed. Sister. They saw a woman with long white hair standing in a clearing, surrounded by a whirlwind of frost. Boon Wong planned. It's just as I expected. I'll have to stop the flow of the core energy. Yang Danhua called out. Wait. Boon Wong grunted. Kook. It's too cold. I've pulled up my inner energy to its maximum, but I'm still shivering. It's incomparable to the explosions from before. He ran toward her and yelled. Sister, get it together. It's me. Kook. I'm sorry. I have to do this. His hand reached for her. She flinched and turned around. Boon Wong gasped. What? Her eyes were completely white and glowing. She grabbed Boon Wong by the arm. Boon Wong screamed in pain. Kua! His arm began to freeze instantly. He cried out, a sister, what are you doing? Stop! She remained silent as the ice crawled up his body. Boon Wong thought to himself. Damn it! Even if I concentrate all my inner energy, her yin energy is still digging into me. At this rate, my entire body will freeze over. He prepared a counterattack. I'm sorry. He threw a heavy kick, but she blocked it with a layer of frost. Boon Wong thought to himself. Oh, what? She concealed all the frost near her foot to block the kick? She grabbed him once more, encasing his body in thick ice. Boon Wong screamed. Uaagh. He thought to himself. She doesn't recognize me at all. At this rate, I'll freeze to death. Qian Yo Woon descended and landed between them. You should stop here. He reached out and grabbed the woman's wrist. Boon Wong warned. It's dangerous. The cold. The sister glared with glowing eyes. Qian Yo Woon used his qi to generate heat. Boon Wong observed. He's melting the cold. His qi is amazing. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. I'm sure I said that was enough. A massive barrier of ice crystals formed between them. Qian Yo Woon noted. She created a barrier from the frost. What an interesting skill. But he pricked the center of the barrier with a single finger, shattering the entire structure. The force sent Boon Wong tumbling away. Uaagh. Baekji I caught the falling man. Oh, I knew she was strong enough to mess with the balance of the atmosphere, but for her to push him back this far. Boon Wong stammered. Thank you. Baekji I thought to himself. I thought he had a rather arrogant tone to him. I'm a bit embarrassed. I guess he was just honest to a fault. Boon Wong groaned. Oh, you're a pretty good guy. Stop talking. Help me chase away the cold. But we have no time to waste. Boon Wong warned. It will be worse if we don't stop my sister. I was able to stop her last time because I wasn't alone, but for this to happen when father's not here, there's no one else who can handle her yin energy other than him. Yang Danhua wondered. Huh? Qian Yo Woon drew his sword as a whirlwind of energy surrounded him. No, there is. Boon Wong thought to himself. He's a lot more monstrous than I thought. If he can't stop it, then we're in trouble. Although I doubt that'll be the case. Yang Danhua observed the two. He must really trust him. I guess he is like what my father is to me. The sister stood in the center of the storm. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Is her internal energy really infinite? She keeps getting stronger despite all this yin energy she's exuding. It's on a different dimension compared to the kind of energy martial artists have from years of training. The ice fragments around her sharpened into deadly points. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Shit, the sister pointed her hand toward him. Baekji yelled. Watch out! A hail of ice shards flew through the air. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Nano, activate augmented reality. Analyze the trajectory of the ice fragments. The voice in his head responded. Analyzing and marking the trajectory of the ice fragments. Qian Yo Woon spun his blade with precision, deflecting every shard. He charged forward through the frost. Boon Wong praised. That's amazing. He's just going through it. Qian Yo Woon observed. There's no yin energy in the ice fragments. They're nothing more than flying ice fragments. He closed the distance rapidly. The ice fragments stopped moving. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Now is my chance. He leapt forward with his sword raised. The sister's eyes flashed with white light. Qian Yo Woon declared. Too late. He struck her forehead with his fingers to seal her energy. The massive hurricane of ice stopped instantly, though a deep cold still hung in the air. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. The hurricane stopped, but the cold hasn't gone away completely yet. How is her yin energy so strong? I never had to use more than 5th mastery qi, even when fighting a martial artist of the evolutionary realm. But even 7th mastery qi can't stop her completely. He noticed her body still twitching. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. I went for the paralysis pressure point too, but she's still trying to move. He watched as the frost on her body slowly cracked. He caught her as she finally went limp. Qian Yo Woon exhaled. Phew, she's one difficult woman. The group stood amidst a wasteland of jagged ice. Boon Wong approached slowly. Boon Wong stammered. I didn't think you could actually do it. You're amazing. Qian Yo Woon looked at the man. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Seeing how his skin has turned purple, he's not in a good state either. He looked back at the sister in his arms and saw her face. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Her veins are puffing up. The yin energy in her is still raging despite having her vessels blocked. We need to hurry. Boon Wong asked. What are you going to do with her? Qian Yo Woon answered. I'm going to take her to Ms. Cam's grandmother. Boon Wong asked nervously. But even if she's an amazing physician, will she be able to improve my sister's condition? Qian Yo Woon replied. Well, if it's not something even the divine physician can fix, then there is no hope for your sister. Come, we need to hurry. Boon Wong asked in total shock. What? Did the divine physician? Where is Ms. Cam's grandmother is the divine physician. Boon Wong yelled. What? She never told me that during all those visits to pick up medicine from her. She should have told me earlier. Heo Bong muttered. Ah, well, Boon Wong thought to himself. I guess it's obvious that she wouldn't tell me since I was keeping her alive for the medicine. She wanted to live too, I guess. Qian Yo Woon commanded. Hurry up. There's no time to stand there in shock. The narrator explains. Having rejoined the rest of his companions, Qian Yo Woon hurried to find a dock. They were able to find a dock that operates late and safely cross the Yellow River. They hurried using Qinggong after crossing the river to reach the Heavenly Demon Cult branch in the northernmost region of Honam early in the morning. A group of cultists knelt as they arrived. The branch leader shouted, "We greet the divine cult's demon lord. May the heavenly demon live 1,000 years. Hail!" The other cultists echoed, "May the heavenly demon live 1,000 years. Hail! Hail!" Boon Wong thought to himself. I knew he was strong, but he was the demon lord of the demonic cult. He must have gotten some operation to become young again. Qian Yo Woon announced, "The situation is urgent. Where is the divine physician?" The leader replied, "Yes, she's currently in the first guest hall." Qian Yo Woon ordered, "Elder Yang and Baek Ji, take the body and the baby to the other guest hall and wait for us." They replied together, "Yes, sir." Qian Yo Woon carried the sister into the hall. Inside, the divine physician and her companions were eating breakfast. Moon Gyu jumped up with a smile. "My lord, you're back." She paused as she saw the woman in his arms. Moon Gyu asked, Lord, who is that woman?" Qian Yo Woon laid the woman on a bed. The divine physician stepped forward to examine her. Hyo Bong explained, "That's what happened, so we brought her." "Now he's gonna owe us one." Moon Gyu asked, Really? Is that really what it was?" Hyo Bong smiled. "Of course. The demon lord isn't that kind of person." Moon Gyu thought to herself, "I was really bothered because she's such a beautiful young woman, and found it hard to believe that she's just a patient. I knew the demon lord isn't one to be swayed by beauty." Hyo Bong whispered to Moon Gyu, I think I read somewhere that you can treat the 9-yin meridian collapse by balancing it using someone with a very strong yang energy." Moon Gyu asked, "Balance?" Hyo Bong smirked. "Hey Tilda, you know Tilda, the coming together of a man and woman." Moon Gyu blushed and yelled, "What? Don't make up things like that." Hyo Bong laughed. You got me Tilda." Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. What a bad joke, Hyo Bong. I can't even tell him that I'm listening to their conversation. The divine physician sighed deeply. The 9-yin meridian collapse. I never thought I'd see it again. Is it that bad? The divine physician noted. I don't know who gave her the medicine, but someone seems to have given her medicine to perk up her yang energy. Seems like that extended her life. Boon Wong muttered, "It was your own granddaughter, is what I want to say." Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. You should keep your mouth shut if you want her to be treated. But I shouldn't say anything. Qian Yo Woon asked, "Does that mean you've treated it before?" The divine physician shook her head slowly. Boon Wong shouted in a panic. What? What do you mean, you've never treated it before? The divine physician snapped, "Hey, wait until I'm done talking." She continued calmly, "The first time I saw a patient with the 9-yin meridian collapse was 30 years ago. I knew back then the basics of what I had to do. But this kind of disorder only afflicts martial artists who train their inner energy. That's why it's hard to treat. There's nothing I can do using medicine. The only solution is to open up her blocked up vessels with a yang energy that's strong enough. Plus, it's not easy to find someone with such a strong yang energy." Boon Wong asked, "So you weren't able to find someone?" The divine physician answered, "No, I used all the people I had to find one. The abbot of Shaolin, who was one of the 5 great martial artists of that time period. He was called the most powerful because he had mastered internal martial arts to the highest realm. And as a Buddhist monk would do, he easily accepted what I asked of him. His inner energy contained enough yang energy to handle the raging yin energy. But the vessels of the woman who was suffering from the disorder could not. In the end, she could not endure the strong inner energy and died on the spot. It really wasn't his fault, but apparently, he stepped down from his position because of the guilt. She was the first patient I was unable to save in my long career." Boon Wong grabbed her and cried, Then the method must have been wrong. Do you know of a better way, then?" The divine physician shook him off. One cannot call themselves a physician if they do not look into their failures. As the abbot of Shaolin said, trying to open up the veins using yang inner energy caused a stronger reaction from the yin energy, which in turn forced him to heighten his own qi. And the woman's veins weren't able to handle the 2 strong energies. Qian Yo Woon asked, "If that's not possible, then how can it be treated?" The divine physician replied, "There are 2 methods, but both have their downsides. One is basically impossible at the moment, but the other method isn't something neither you nor this lady would want." Boon Wong asked, What is that method?" The divine physician explained, "Coincidentally enough, the starting point of the yin energy explosion is in the woman's womb." Boon Wong stammered, "What you mean?" The divine physician stated, "Yes, it's a method to lessen the pressure on her veins, by naturally sliding yang energy into her body to achieve the balance of yin and yang." She looked directly at Qian Yo Woon and added, "And the person with a strong enough yang energy here." Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, "That's a method of treatment I never would have thought of." He asked the physician, "What's the other method you said would be impossible?" Suddenly Qian Yo Woon flinched as he sensed a powerful presence. That's What? He wondered to himself. What is this energy I've never felt before coming from toward the gate? It's a lot more intimidating than when this woman went into a rage. Moon Gyu asked with concern. My lord, what is it? Qian Yo Woon noted. Seems like they haven't noticed. If only I can sense it, then the person must be either on the same level as me or higher. He commanded the room. Everyone, stay here and don't move. Moon Gyu cried out. My lord, the narrator explains. Just like a person has their own scent, there is a uniqueness to each person's qi, so a martial artist who is well trained in inner energy can differentiate them. The higher realm you get to, the more expansive your qi senses become, and once you reach the mystic realm, you can utilize nature's energy to even sense the leftover traces of someone's qi. Earlier, Wang Jian had been tracking the energy. The yin energy that led to Wang Shen is now going across the Yellow River and going southwest. I've been using Qigong without rest, but I have yet to catch up. Wang Jian observed the damaged surroundings. Considering the traces left behind, she most certainly went into a rage. To have overpowered and kidnapped her must mean that the person is a very advanced martial artist. He thought to himself with fury. Whoever the opponent may be, I will never forgive them. You will pay for coming after my children. He arrived at the front gate of the fortress. The yin energy's traces lead to that way. He recognized the sign. The heavenly demon divine cult? They were the culprits? This is not what I had anticipated, but it does not matter. I am afraid of no one. A guard shouted. Stop. What brings you here? Wang Jian ordered. Move. The guard asked. What? Wang Jian blasted through the guards, sending them flying. Other cultists rushed out. What are you doing? Who are you to just barge in like this? Wang Jian commanded. Get out of my way. He struck them down with a single movement. A high-ranking cultist thought to himself. Kook. With just the movement of his hand, he killed 4 martial artists. Another leader yelled. Back off right now. Do you know where you are? Wang Jian warned. Let me warn you instead. If you don't want to end up like them, then you better bring me my children right now. The leader shouted. Why are you looking for your kids here? Who are you? Why are you being so uncooperative? Wang Jian decided. You want to deny it? Then I'll just find them on my own. The leader commanded. Attack him! The guards charged, but Wang Jian used his energy to take control of their blades. And my sword is. The leader gasped in terror. Qi sword control? That means he must be a mystic realm martial artist. How is a master martial artist like him here? Wang Jian declared. This is my final warning. Anyone who gets in my way will die. Move! Ji-hyun yelled. Bullshit! Even if you're a master martial artist, you're underestimating us too much. Do you think we will go down on our knees when we're a part of the great heavenly demon divine cult? Wang Jian sighed. How foolish. I gave you the chance to live, but you threw it away. This is what you have chosen. Goodbye. He launched the floating swords at the cultists. Ji-hyun gritted his teeth. Kook! The blades suddenly stopped inches from Ji-hun's face. He gasped in confusion. Oh, what? The swords stopped? Wang Jian was stunned. Oh, what? Someone intervened with my qi, which was connected to the swords. Qian Yo Woon walked calmly into the courtyard. Wang Jian stared at him. That young man? Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Succeeded in taking control of the user's energy. Counterattack, Nano. The voice in his head replied. Activating remote control system of 40 swords. Target, lock on. Qian Yo Woon flicked his wrist, turning the swords back toward their owner. Wang Jian thought to himself. Ha, I've never thought I'd experience something like this. He marveled at the boy. How strange. To intervene on this many swords, he needs to have precise control over qi. He only looks to be 20, but his energy is not inferior to mine. He must be of the demonic cult. Who is he? The cultists all knelt down together. Greeting the sky of the great heavenly demon divine cult, the Demon Lord. Greeting the Demon Lord, Wang Jian thought to himself. I did hear that the new master was a young man. Is he perhaps the one who overpowered my daughter? Ji-hyun reported. Hanam's northern region branch leader, Ji-hyun, reporting. Qian Yo Woon said. Go ahead, Ji-hyun explained. That man over there barged into the cult, harmed and killed our guard martial artists and others, and has been threatening us to give back his children. Qian Yo Woon asked. His children? He realized the man's identity. Then he must be unrivaled sword Wang Jian. Ji-hyun gasped. You unrivaled sword? We were up against one of the 5 great martial artists. Wang Jian thought to himself. For him to know who I am, he must be the person who took my children. I'll need to use quite a bit of my qi to fight him. If that happens, then the martial artists here will also intervene. It's disadvantageous to me no matter what. I have no choice. The intimidating pressure suddenly vanished. Wang Jian saluted the cult leader respectfully. It's an honor to meet the new demon lord of the heavenly demon divine cult. I am Wang Jian. Qian Yo Woon lowered his hand and dismissed the floating blades. Qian Yo Woon commanded, take the fallen martial artists for treatment. The branch leader asked in shock. Huh, outer pavilion master. Occultist checked the bodies. They're all alive. I think they just took light internal injuries and passed out. Thank you for being considerate. I shouldn't unnecessarily create enemies by killing when I can feel my children's presence here. That's why I just gave a warning and was only going to confront the one who defeated my daughter. But to think that person was the demonic cult's leader. Wang Jian spoke. I wanted to be more polite since I am in the presence of the head of the heavenly demon Gavine cult, but please understand that I couldn't. I can sense my children here. I'd like to hear the reason why you took them. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Good. The very person I wanted indebted to me is here. Qian Yo Woon responded. I apologize for causing a misunderstanding. Your daughter was in quite a serious state, so we had no choice but to hurry her here. Wang Jian flinched. Oh, Wang Jian continued. You did it with good intentions. It seems like I've made a mistake because of the rush I was in. But we do have physicians to take care of. Suddenly, a bone-chilling aura exploded from a nearby building. A guard shouted in terror. Oh, what is this incredible chill? Frost? Qian Yo Woon realized. Has the pressure point quelling been undone? Qian Yo Woon commanded. Cult leader, come with me. The two masters sprinted toward the guest hall. Ho Sangwa grunted as she tried to withstand the freezing wind. Kook, I didn't know it was this bad. I think either the Demon Lord or Elder Yang need to get here. Massive pillars of ice suddenly erupted from the floor, shattering the walkway. She's attacking. Run! She swung her axe with all her might. Ha! The weapon shattered against the frozen air. This is impossible. My attack was nullified before it could even reach her. The girl stood in the center of a violent blizzard, her white hair whipping in the wind. A cultist gasped. The ice pieces are. Another guard asked. Sangwa, I'm seeing this correctly, right? Ho Sangwa noted. This isn't the martial artist we know about. She's like the snow woman from the urban legends or the incarnation of the white-haired witch. The girl raised her hand, sending a barrage of ice shards at the retreating cultists. Ho Sangwa froze in fear. The shards stopped instantly in midair. Ho Sangwa thought to herself. The ice fragments stopped midair. Qian Yo Woon walked onto the scene. That could have been bad. Moon Gyu called out. My lord. Wang Jian rushed past them. Huh? He used his palms to deflect the remaining ice. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Amazing. With that kind of technique, he could have easily blocked the Qi sword control earlier. Wang Jian called out to his daughter. Yogun. Wang Jian thought to himself. I had anticipated that she would have gone into a rage, but her condition is the worst it could ever be. I need to hurry. He struck her pressure points with rapid precision. The girl did not react. Wang Jian thought to himself. Trying to quell her pressure points with fifth mastery won't work because of how strong her yin energy has gotten. She's gotten much worse. He caught her as she finally fell forward. Wang Jian realized in horror. She feels the cold coming from her body. Her condition has never been this bad before. What am I going to do? It'll take at least half a day to get to the Dragon Tiger Claw. She might die before that. The divine physician walked toward them. Wang Jian thought to himself. Who is this muscular old woman? She looks familiar. She took the girl's pulse. Wang Jian asked. Is she a physician? Qian Yo Woon answered. Yes, I brought your daughter here to see her. The divine physician noted. Oh, no. It seems like the yin energy has spread throughout her entire body. Demon Lord. At this rate, she won't even survive half a day. Qian Yo Woon said. We really have no choice now. Wang Jian asked in a panic. Oh, what do you mean? What is going to happen to her? The divine physician explained. The only way to save this woman now is by balancing out her yin and yang. Wang Jian stared in silence. Wang Jian thought to himself. What? Boon Wang suddenly grabbed the physician by her collar and yelled. Who are you to say something like that? Father. What are you doing? She's the person you've been searching for all this time. She's the divine physician. Wang Jian froze. The group gathered in the frozen courtyard. Wang Jian looked at his daughter and thought to himself. Something that even the abbot of Shaolin failed to do. It must be true since the divine physician says so. How can something like this have happened to my daughter? Hio Bong muttered. Balancing out the yin and yang, Moon Gyu repeated quietly. Balancing. I don't like this at all. Qian Yo Woon exhaled. Another woman. Having many wives and children only leads to more conflict. I know that better than anyone because I myself experienced the evils of the 6 great sects. He thought to himself. I can't betray Moon Gyu. Is probably what the Demon Lord is thinking. He's the kind of person to go through whatever decision he makes, but I think it's the right thing to do this time in order to save that lady. I do feel very bad for Moon Gyu, but if we think about it logically, this is a great chance to have the unrivaled sword Wang Jian, one of the 5 great martial artists of Zhongyuan, indebted to us as well as make him our ally. The divine physician interrupted. We don't have time. The acupuncture needles are only chasing away the cold by controlling the flow of her internal energy. Ha! It won't lengthen her lifespan. Wang Jian looked at his son. Father. Boon. Wang Jian responded. Of course. I don't like the idea either, but we have no choice. Boon Wang pleaded. Father. We need to save Yogun. Wang Jian thought to himself. She did say that it's to save my daughter, but as a father, is it really the appropriate decision for me to surrender her body to someone I've never met before? And even if I were to permit him to take my daughter's body, he would need to take responsibility for it. Right. Leaving my precious daughter to that man. Of course, his status is great. His martial arts is comparable to that of the 5 great martial artists. However, although he's not expressing it, it's certain that he values that woman very much. It seems like she's ranked pretty high in this cult, too. I'm sure she is to be his wife. My own daughter has to become a concubine of the demonic cult's leader? Now that I think about it, I did hear that the leaders of the demonic cult possessed several wives, but he doesn't seem like someone who is obsessed with women. Yogun gasped for air. Huff. Huff. Wang Jian gritted his teeth and thought. How foolish, Wang Jian. I should be willing to do anything to save Yogun. He turned to the cult leader and saluted. Demon Lord, I've never asked someone for help in my life. But I think today is the day I need to break that promise to myself. Wang Jian dropped to his knees. Qian Yo Woon reacted. Sir Wang Jian, why are you doing this? Please get up. Wang Jian begged. Please, please save my daughter. I'm begging you, not as one of the 5 great martial artists, but as a father. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. He has completely ignored his ego to ask me this. I might make an enemy out of him if I say no, of course. I'm not afraid to make an enemy out of him. I would lose the opportunity to have one of the 5 great martial artists be an ally, but it's the right choice to make sure what happened with the 6 great sects doesn't happen to my cult. I'm sure it won't happen, but if another woman were to have my child, the voice of Nano spoke in his mind. If you would like, I may activate urethra shutdown mode. Qian Yo Woon asked. What? Urethra? Nano explained. The urethra is where the semen passes through. The nanomachines in the body can effectively shut down the urethra better than surgery can. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. That's possible. No, but even then. Moon Gyu called out. My lord. She looked at him with watery eyes and said. I'm really upset right now, and it feels like my heart is breaking in two. Moon Gyu. I may be your partner, but I am also a member of the great heavenly demon divine cult and your loyal subordinate. I don't think there is a reason to reject something that will be helpful to the cult. I already know how you feel about me. So, please do what Sir Wang Jian has asked of you. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Moon Gyu. I don't want to do something you would hate. Moon Gyu responded. Of course I hate it. But, look how he's begging for help. Had my father been here, I'm sure he would have been the same. And, it's so sad that someone that beautiful is going to die after suffering from the 9-yin meridian collapse. Qian Yo Woon asked, what's beautiful about her? To me, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. Moon Gyu blushed deeply. Don't say something so embarrassing so easily. You're just saying that because you feel bad. Qian Yo Woon replied, I'm serious. You're my number one. Moon Gyu warned him. I'm going to keep an eye on you. I'll be understanding this one since a person's life is hanging on this, but I'm the only one you should keep your eyes on. Qian Yo Woon answered, okay. He turned back to the kneeling man. How can I say no to a father asking me to save his daughter's life? Wang Jian gasped, Demon Lord, I beg of you, please, please save my daughter. Qian Yo Woon responded, all right. The divine physician said, I'm glad you have made a decision. Then let us hurry. If we stall any longer, even balancing out her yin and yang won't save her. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. What should I do? Hio Bong cleared his throat. Ahem, ahem. Moon Gyu commanded. Now, everyone, leave. Since the divine physician seems to wish to talk to the demon lord in private, everyone walked away, leaving the room quiet. The narrator explains. Once everyone was gone, the divine physician explained the treatment method. The words used were rather very embarrassing if it weren't for the fact that this was for the sake of saving the woman. The divine physician warned, there will be great resistance. It might lead to a fight, but you cannot stop in the middle of it. Do you understand? Then I wish you luck, Demon Lord. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Is this something she should wish me luck for? He picked up the unconscious girl and carried her into a private room. Then I guess I should move her first. He laid her gently on the bed. He thought to himself. Ha! She said there's no other choice, but is this really okay? She said I have to loosen her pressure points so that her chi can circulate. It might really lead to a bad fight if she wakes up. I guess I should undress her first. He carefully removed her outer robes. Phew. Next is, suddenly, the girl's eyes snapped open with a white glow. Qian Yo Woon reacted in shock. Oh, what? I barely pressed her pressure points, yet she's already awake? An explosion of frost erupted from her body. The building shook with a massive explosion of power. He muttered nervously. He must really be going at it. Wang Jian flinched and wondered. He turned away and muttered. TCH. Moon Gyu stood in silence. Idiot. He pointed at the structure and noted. The building is freezing over again. He ran forward and shouted. Demon Lord. The divine physician commanded. Stop. That's just her waking up. Don't go in there. If you go in there and interrupt them, everything will have been for nothing. The group waited outside as the building continued to rumble. Boon Wang asked, Are they okay? Moon Gyu noted, It sounds like they're fighting to the death. She watched in silence. Hyo Bong asked in surprise. Huh? It's suddenly quiet. Ho Sangwa gasped. Ah. The divine physician reacted. Oh my. Hyo Bong shouted. Finally. Inside the frozen room, Qian Yo Woon groaned. Ha. You. He thought to himself. I need to concentrate on transferring my yang energy. If I make even the slightest mistake, her veins might freeze over and kill her. I must not try to win over the yin energy. I need to accept it. You. Focus on circulating that yin energy in my body, and then extracting it. He grit his teeth in pain. To think that a person could possess this much yin energy. An ordinary person never would have endured this. Qian Yo Woon watched a dark aura swirl around him. He thought to himself in shock. Huke. The heavenly demonic energy is. It's eating away all the yin energy coming in like a beast eating its prey. Even if I can circulate the nature's energy, at this rate, it'll be more than what I can handle. I have no choice. I'll have to give her more of my yang energy so that I can take in more of her yin. Yogun gasped. Qian Yo Woon noted. The color of her eyes are returning, and blood is circulating more. It's working. He groaned through the cold. Kook, it's cold. It feels like the blood in my body is freezing over. It's not her that's in danger now. The voice of Nano announced. Increasing user's body temperature. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. This is bad. The heavenly demonic energy ate all the yin. Now I can't expel it from my body. There is too much yin filling up the heavenly demon sword arts, which is a martial arts of yang energy. It seems like I've absorbed all of her yin energy. I need to now take care of the yin in my own body. If I just leave it be. Outside, Boon Wang watched the building. Father, Wang Jian thought to himself. I told myself that I would be willing to do and deal with anything if it would save my daughter's life, but I can't do anything about this bad feeling. My love, did I make the right choice? What would you have done if you were alive? Boon Wang called out, Father. Both men flinched as the energy shifted. Boon Wang asked, What? This isn't cold. Wang Jian thought to himself. I've never felt something this strange and savage before. The cold is decreasing, but the energy opposite of that is increasing. It's like a beast roaring. Boon Wang shouted, Father, something is up in the guest hall. Wang Jian asked, Do you feel it too? Come with me. Boon Wang replied, Okay. They rushed into the courtyard. Wang Jian yelled, Divine Physician, what is happening? The Divine Physician replied in a panic. I don't know either. Even the Divine Physician, who hasn't learned martial arts, is shaking from this energy. Someone must be expelling it as if in a rage. A massive pillar of energy blasted through the roof of the guest hall. Qian Yo Woon stood amidst the rubble, steam rising from his body. Moon Gyu cried out, My lord! Boon Wang yelled. Yogun! Wang Jian asked, Demon Lord, what is happening? Qian Yo Woon stared ahead with a blank expression. Wang Jian thought to himself. I have no choice but to check for myself. He stepped forward and asked. Demon Lord, can you hear me? Qian Yo Woon suddenly turned his intense gaze toward him. Wang Jian launched an attack, but was repelled by a violent burst of energy. Boon Wang gasped. Huke! He looked at the surrounding walls and noted. Did the wall froze over? Wang Jian looked at his daughter on the bed and sighed. Her complexion has returned. Her condition must have improved. Yogun breathed softly. Wang Jian thought to himself. It worked. But what's wrong with him? The savage energy and the cold from the 9 yin meridian collapse are coexisting within him. Seeing as his eyes aren't focused on anything, he must be unconscious. Could it be chi deviation? For a martial artist of his level to be inflicted with chi deviation is basically a death sentence. I need to wake him up. He shouted. Demon Lord, can you hear me? He thought to himself. Yogun will be in danger too with how he is right now. Kook, I need to get him somewhere else. Wang Jian charged his hands with glowing energy. He requested, please be understanding, even if I have to be a bit rough. He launched a massive shockwave at Qian Yo Woon, sending debris and dust flying in all directions. The impact created a violent whirlwind around the Demon Lord. He's amazing. He didn't leave a single injury on the Demon Lord. He really is one of the 5 great martial artists. Wang Jian thought to himself. I did it! Now I'll pull him over to a place where there aren't any people. Qian Yo Woon suddenly raised his head, his eyes glowing with a dark red light. Wang Jian gasped. What? He thought to himself in a panic. He must have perceived me as an enemy in his subconscious state. That's actually for the better. I'll lure him to a safer place. Qian Yo Woon lunged forward, his movements erratic and powerful. He struck the ground with such force that the stone walkway shattered into fragments. Wang Jian shouted, Wang Boon! His son responded instantly. Yes, father. Qian Yo Woon swung his arm, and a blade of cold energy sliced through the air. Wang Jian blocked the strike with his greatsword and thought to himself. There's cold aura imbued into the blade. The resulting shockwave was so powerful that it blew the bystanders back. The divine physician screamed as she was thrown through the air. Oh, this kind of shockwave is too much for the divine physician. The divine physician stammered. Thank you. Watch out. Is the Demon Lord really experiencing chi blockage? This is bad. His chi power is at the same level as mine, and the cold energy isn't helping. He grit his teeth as their energies clashed. Wang Jian thought to himself. I'm melting the cold energy with my chi, but this is similar to when my daughter went into a rage. I don't see an end to the coldness. Could it be that he absorbed the cold energy instead of expelling it? Why would he do such a foolish thing? Even if he's at the level where he's capable of circulating nature's energies, if someone like him were to absorb so much yin energy, it will cause a collision in the body and turn into chi blockage. Wang Jian groaned. Kook, I have no choice now but to defeat him. Wang Boon. Boon Wang charged forward. I've been waiting. Please forgive me, Demon Lord. No. The heavy blade descended, but it was suddenly parried by a dark, pulsating sword. Wang Jian froze in shock. A sword? Phew. Ah, the heavenly demon sword. Qian Yo Woon stood with 2 weapons now. The black heavenly demon sword in his right hand and a shimmering white blade of chi in his left. Wang Jian stared in disbelief. That's unique. Wielding 2 different weapons at the same time. Could it be? Did he restrain both the yin and yang energy at the same time? I've never heard of such a thing happening. Qian Yo Woon breathed heavily, steam rolling off his shoulders. Ha! Ha! The narrator explains. Heavenly demonic energy refers to the violent dark energy that had been sleeping in Qian Yo Woon's energy core. Unlike others, the energy felt so alive and violent. It had been sleeping in Qian Yo Un's energy core, and because it was a difficult energy to manipulate, even Qian Yo Un held back from using it. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. To think that the heavenly demonic energy did more than just intensify the chi. I can't expel the yin energy out of my body because all of it was absorbed. I need to produce enough yang energy in order to balance out the yin. He clutched his chest in pain. Kua, it's a problem that there are 2 opposing energies in my body, but it's also over the limit of what I can handle. Healing internal injuries of the 5 viscera and 6 entrails. If it weren't for Nano healing my internal injuries, I would have passed out long ago, right? If I can't empty out one of them, I'll just force them to coexist. If the 2 can coexist instead of colliding against each other, his eyes suddenly cleared and returned to their natural color. Huke. He looked at the swords in his hands and thought. I was in a subconscious state. Huh? This is. Wang Jian asked urgently. Demon Lord, are you awake? Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Oh, he was dealing with me while I was in a rage. He addressed Wang Jian. Thank you, Kook. A sharp pain flared in his core. The white blade's aura has been painted black, and the enhanced black sword's aura is emitting cold energy? Could it be? Qian Yo Woon stood tall as a massive surge of power radiated from him. He thought to himself, the yin energy and the heavenly demonic energy are balancing each other out instead of clashing. Moon Gu asked, Sir Wang, what's wrong with the Demon Lord? Wang Jian replied, it seems like he's balancing out the opposing energies. He watched the aura intensify and thought, it's unbelievable how much his inner energy is increasing. I can tell from just a glance at the energy that he's much stronger than earlier. Just his inner energy alone is exceeding what I possess. He's crossing a territory that even I have yet to reach. It looks like I'm witnessing the birth of a terrifying monster. The swords clattered to the ground. Qian Yo Woon sat in a meditative state while a brilliant blue aura swirled around him. Ho Sangwa shouted in awe. Ah, the demon lord is reaching a new realm. She ran toward the other cultists and commanded. Everyone, halt. Is something happening to the demon lord? We heard a lot of noise just now. What is this aura? Ho Sangwa explained. The demon lord is reaching a new realm at the moment. Ji-hyun gasped. Is that true? Ho Sangwa ordered. We cannot interrupt him, so have people back off from here. Ji-hyun responded. Oh, yes, ma'am. Inside the medical hall, the divine physician checked the girl's pulse. Wang Jian asked nervously. How is she, divine physician? Is my daughter okay now? The divine physician smiled. It's a success, Sir Wang. The yin energy that was raging within her body has gone down. Boon Wang asked with joy. Is that true? The divine physician suggested. Let's take her inside just to watch her for a while longer. Wang Jian looked at his daughter and whispered. I'm so glad, Yogun, the divine physician asked him. Will you come with? Wang Jian replied. No, I'm satisfied just knowing that my daughter is all right. I'm leaving her in your care, divine physician. He turned to his son and commanded. Boon, you go and help her. Boon Wang asked. Huh? Then what will you do? Wang Jian looked toward the courtyard and decided. I need to pay the debt I owe the demon lord. Even by just a little bit. Outside, this aura is shockingly cold and scary, it's almost hard to breathe. On the other hand, Sir Wang, he looks perfectly fine. For someone as great as him to stand guard for the demon lord, I'm very grateful. Moon Gyu gasped. Wang Jian thought to himself. What? The energy that the demon lord was exuding is going back inside him? Qian Yo Woon's skin began to glow and peel away. Wang Jian thought to himself. His skin. He's going through body reconstruction now. Is this the second time? Moon Gyu thought to herself. I'm getting to witness the demon lord go through body reconstruction. A massive explosion of light filled the courtyard. The narrator explains. After shedding the shell of his past, the appearance of the demon lord brought forth admiration from the onlookers. They thought that maybe his form was the peak of physique. Moon Gyu blushed and thought to herself. Was the demon lord's body always that beautiful? Wang Jian sighed. He thought to himself. Just earlier, he was exuding enough energy to make even me tremble because of it, but now he feels like an ordinary person. He's perfectly controlling his energy. Has he reached the original reversal realm, where he can control all energies internal and external? Wang Jian saluted. Congratulations, demon lord. I never thought I'd live to see the day when someone would reach the realm I'd been dreaming of all my life. Boon Wang and the others cheered. Congratulations on your achievement. Qian Yo Woon nodded. Wang Jian spoke. Demon lord. Qian Yo Woon replied. Yes, Sir Wang Jian. Wang Jian suggested. Since you've reached a new realm, do you wish to perhaps test it out? I'd be glad to help with that if you'd like. Moon Gyu thought to herself. Is he asking the demon lord for a duel? A fight between one of the 5 great martial artists and the demon lord. I want to see that. Qian Yo Woon smirked and prepared a blade of cold chi. He replied. All right, that's something I was going to ask you myself. The narrator explains. Heavenly demon divine cult Hunan's northern region nearby. Plains leading to the valleys. It's a duel between one of the 5 great martial artists and the demon lord. It must be carried out with utmost secrecy. Don't let even an ant pass by within a 2-kilometer range. The cultists shouted. Yes, sir. A massive shockwave erupted from the center of the plains. Ji-hyun flinched. He thought to himself. The shockwaves are even reaching this place. I wish I could see the fight up close. On the battlefield, Qian Yo Woon blocked a heavy strike. He thought to himself. He blocked again. It's hard to find an opening because of the sword aura and greatsword combination. He's talented in both smooth and destructive techniques as well as changing his technique halfway through. I see why he's one of the 5 great martial artists. Wang Jian swung his massive blade and thought to himself. I cannot give him the range. That technique of his is too dangerous. The 2 masters exchanged a flurry of high-speed strikes. Wang Jian grit his teeth and thought. The greatsword feels heavier and heavier because of the injury I took to the shoulder earlier. I'm also losing in chi. So if this goes on longer, it'll be disadvantageous for me. He lunged forward for a final strike. Wang Jian decided. I'll finish this in one attack. He swung with all his strength, but his sword passed through thin air. He thought to himself in shock. An after image? Moon Gyu screamed from the distance. He disappeared. Boon Wang yelled. Father! Qian Yo Woon appeared instantly behind Wang Jian, his hand raised for a finishing blow. Behind, a massive explosion of energy occurred as they collided. Wang Jian parried the follow-up strikes. He thought to himself. He disappeared again. Where to this, Tim? He turned his head quickly. Again, he grit his teeth. I see, this is. Qian Yo Woon leapt high into the sky. Wang Jian observed. Qigong's peak realm, void steps. Qian Yo Woon dove back down with incredible force. Wang Jian smiled. Amazing force, excellent. The two exchanged a flurry of blows that shattered the ground beneath them. This is a duel. I'm shaking just from watching. Moon Gyu asked with concern. Isn't one of them going to get seriously hurt? You don't need to be so dramatic. Neither of them are using any murderous or ultimate techniques. Even then, the force is unbelievable. At this rate, the entire area is going to be destroyed. Wang Jian stepped back and lowered his weapon. I feel like this should be enough. Demon Lord, can I ask you for a favor? Qian Yo Woon answered, of course. Wang Jian requested, could you show me what you've learned as you reach the end of the mystic realm? Qian Yo Woon warned, it might be dangerous. Are you sure? Wang Jian stood his ground. Don't worry about that. I may be below you, but I'm not one of the 5 great martial artists for no reason. Wang Jian thought to himself. I have yet to use my secret technique, so I should be able to use that to stop him if necessary. Qian Yo Woon replied, all right. I actually wanted to check too. Wang Jian thought to himself. He's putting his sword away? Is he going to show me what he learned about the energy arts? Qian Yo Woon raised his hand. There are 2 things that I've learned. Wang Jian asked. 2? What kind of? A dark, frozen energy began to swirl around the Demon Lord. Wang Jian reacted in shock. Be black frost? He watched the ice crystals form and thought to himself. Gathering frost together to form a sword is what Yogun did when she went into a rage. He did absorb her yin energy, but still, to be capable of this is. Dozens of black ice swords manifested in the air. Qian Yo Woon launched the weapons forward. Wang Jian parried the flying blades. Amazing, Demon Lord. This is better than I anticipated. You could take on a whole military on your own. He analyzed the attack. There are more swords than earlier, but it's not impossible to block. If I just pay close attention to the sword's trajectory. The sword suddenly stopped mid-flight. Wang Jian yelled, what is the meaning of this? Demon Lord, why have you stopped? Are you looking down on me? Qian Yo Woon stated calmly. This is nothing compared to my second enlightenment. Wang Jian asked, what do you mean? Qian Yo Woon looked at him with a mysterious smile. Wang Jian gasped. A massive array of shimmering blue chi swords filled the sky behind Qian Yo Woon. Qian Yo Woon explained, this is what I learned from my second enlightenment. I can only maintain it for about half an hour for now, then, here it comes. He pointed his fingers, and the swords rained down. Wang Jian struggled to block the constant barrage. Holy shit, it's as if 12 expert martial artists are attacking me all at once. This is, driving me insane. My goodness, what are we witnessing right now? Moon Gyu added, Master Wang is being pushed back. Boon Wang noted, unbelievable. My father's the one blocking him, but he's still struggling. He's manifested a physical form for his enlightened sword aura, but each of those swords are all using different techniques. I've never even heard of Chi sword control being capable of that. The Demon Lord has definitely transcended the human limits. Wang Jian fought desperately. Damn it, he just keeps attacking. I won't even have the chance to use my secret technique. I'll die right away if I show even the slightest of openings. He felt his strength fading. He's not just strong. This must consume unbelievable amounts of inner energy, or is his inner energy endless? How long has it been? Will this even end? He finally shouted. Demon Lord, please stop for a second. The swords stopped instantly and hovered in the air. Wang Jian panted heavily. Huff, huff. He looked at the damaged ground and the swords. Huff, huff. Qian Yo Woon asked. Will you continue? Wang Jian replied breathlessly. Ha, how can you say that when you see the state I'm in right now? He looked at his bloodied shoulder and sighed. Ha, he stood up and saluted. It's my loss, Demon Lord. Master Wang has admitted defeat. Moon Gyu cheered. The Demon Lord has won. That means, the group cheered together. Whoa! The Demon Lord is now one of the 5 great martial artists. The narrator explains. Jiangsu Province, Jinling's southwestern region 3 Peaked Mountain. Inside a dark throne room, the Blade Clan leader spoke. So, you're saying that Li Beck's poison insect exploded? The subordinate replied. Yes. The leader asked. Didn't you go to retrieve the thing he left behind? The subordinate answered. Yes, but we failed to retrieve it. The leader smashed his hand down in a rage. Are you serious? Then you should have at least brought the body of my brother back. The subordinate begged for mercy. I apologize. I did send people to retrieve the body, but we were unable to find it. We couldn't find the bodies of the master of the sword blade's subordinates either. The leader flinched in shock. You're telling me 150 people of an entire sect disappeared? The subordinate explained. Not all of them. Exactly 105 bodies were not found, and the rest were taken by the Blue Heaven Society. The leader yelled. The Blue Heaven Society? I thought there were only 40 in the abandoned Sword Valley. It is impossible for just 40 people to have killed him and his entire sect. The subordinate noted. From what I had found in my investigation, there were no other forces involved. I think someone else might have intervened. The leader screamed. Who would dare to do so? If we did not get back what the man left behind, then my brother died for nothing. The subordinate stuttered. I know you are upset, but please calm down and take a look at this. The Blade Master has requested for me to deliver this to you. This is the message you have been waiting for. The leader caught the flying scroll. Is the third part of the grand plan finally beginning? He unrolled the parchment and asked. Tong Xu County? Isn't this the place right below, that place? Is the third part of the plan not taking place, there? The subordinate answered. It seems like it did not always take place, there. The leader smirked. I guess they wouldn't risk that kind of danger. It doesn't matter. Whatever the location is, the plan has always been the same. I've been thirsting for blood. This is good, the narrator explains. Honan Province's North Demon Cult Branch. The divine physician wept over a wooden coffin. Ooh, Miyang, Miyang. My precious baby. Why have you come back to me like this? Miyang, the baby in her arms cried. Wee, she sounds like she's really feeling the loss. The divine physician grit her teeth. Those bastards. Those Blue Heaven Society sons of bitches. How dare they kill my granddaughter? I will never forgive them. I hope you will keep that rage for the sake of our cult. The narrator explains. Meanwhile, medicine hall at the main base. Wang Jian sat with his daughter. Are you okay now, Yogun? Yogun replied. Yes, you must have been really worried. I'm sorry about that, father. But my hair isn't turning back to its original color. I feel like I've become an old lady. Wang Jian countered. What do you mean? Do you know how beautiful you are? You're like a flower. I'm not saying that because you're my daughter. I'm sure there is no woman prettier than you in the Jianghu. Yogun blushed. Don't say things like that. You're embarrassing me. Wang Jian looked at her and thought to himself. Gaian, are you watching? Our child is so pretty. He cleared his throat. Ahem, he thought to himself. I know it was for the sake of healing her meridian collapse, but since a man and a woman have done the deed, I can't not bring up marriage. The Demon Lord is definitely not a bad man, no. Actually, no one would be a better candidate than him as my son-in-law. I don't even need to mention his martial arts. There is, the monster of the East, but considering the Demon Lord's potential, he might become the most powerful martial artist under the heavens. Plus, he's the leader of one of the top 3 forces of the Jianghu. I'm sure he can protect Yogun well. Yes, you might resent me for this, but he may be the best match for you, he spoke aloud. Yogun, she replied. Father, is it true that you lost to the Demon Lord? Wang Jian flinched. Oh, what? Who told you that? She answered. Someone named Hyobong. Wang Jian thought in a rage. That monkey-like bastard. I won't bring that up. He destroyed my pride and ego. Yogun stated. Father, I have decided. He asked. What? She requested. If you would permit it, I'd like to be with the Demon Lord. Wang Jian stared in shock. He thought to himself. Why is she suddenly saying that? She's not the type to open up to other people so easily. He asked. Is it because I lost to him? She replied. Not at all. As if I would make such a decision for that kind of reason. He asked. Then why? She explained. I heard from Hyobong and my brother that he saved me despite having a fiancé. To do something like that to save another woman when you already have a fiancé must be a really hard decision to make. Wang Jian scoffed. HMPH. Don't mind that. Men are not as loyal as you think they are. I already told you this. She stood up and argued. You're a man, too, father. He shouted. I'm not like the other men. She replied calmly. You're different, yes, but I think you're misunderstanding something. He asked. What? She explained. I don't intend to get married to the Demon Lord. He saved me from the brink of death. That is a favor I cannot repay so easily. I can't just ignore that. He asked. Then, you mean, she continued. Yes, I'd like to enter the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult and pay him back for saving my life. You said I should always make sure to give back what I receive. Wang Jian asked. Yogun, do you know what you're saying? Well, I'll just say it. It was to heal you, but you still both slept together. But you're saying you're going to enter the cult instead of marrying him? She countered. Father, I'm a woman of the Jianghu. I don't want to just go and get married just because we slept together. And he has a fiancé. Wang Jian yelled. People get married despite having fiancés. You're my daughter. The Wang Jian's daughter. If you don't want to become a second wife because of the demon lord's fiancé, then I will discuss things with him, she screamed. Dad. I said, that's not it. Why don't you get what I'm saying? I already said that's not what I want. How many times do I have to repeat myself? He flinched. She's yelling at me, she added. Even if I do want to get married to him, I don't even know what kind of person he is. He relented. All right, you're right, she requested. And I want you and brother to stay with me. He asked. Oh, what? She explained. You promised that you would protect me and brother since mother can't. I know it was to protect us, but we can't forever avoid the orthodox and unorthodox factions. Let's just all come to the demon cult instead. Wang Jian looked down and thought to himself. I see. Yogun is giving me a good reason to enter the cult without damaging my pride. Gaian, our child is so considerate, she's grown up so well. Yogun is right. It's silly to wind up in marriage just because of physical relations. It would be better to pay off our debt to him, as Yogun said. He cleared his throat. If that's what you wish. Since you don't like the demon lord like that, then let us do as you wish. He thought to himself. That's right, I come first. My daughter is the bee, he spoke aloud. Ooh, well, I don't know about that. Yogun blushed and thought to herself. I might come to like him if I see him more. Wang Jian noticed her face. Gaian, she's our daughter, but I really can't fathom the mind of women. Qian Yo Woon sat inside the guest hall of the demonic cult branch. I've procured all of the medicinal ingredients the divine physician asked for. Thank you, the narrator explains. Before Qian Yo-un left for the Dragon Tiger Claw, he told the divine physician about the former cult leader's symptoms without telling her his identity. He told her about all the abnormal parts in Qian Yuzheng's body that he had noticed with Nano's scanning feature, and the divine physician concluded that it might be caused by damage to the major artery at the heart. Qian Yo-un had previously saved all information about medicinal herbs in Nano to look into the ingredients of opium. He asked Yin Moa to get any of the medicinal ingredients they lacked from the list that the divine physician had prescribed. Elder Yin sighed. I never imagined such things could have happened while I was gone. Qian Yo Woon responded. It was a good thing in the end, so don't worry about it. Elder Yin saluted. But congratulations, Demon Lord. Now you have joined the ranks of the 5 great martial artists. Qian Yo Woon smiled. Thank you, Elder Yin. He thought to himself. Now that I have all the medicinal herbs I need, I just need to resolve the matter with the divine physician. This trip took longer than I expected. I need to hurry back to the cult. Loud knocking echoed from the door. Elder Yin noted. Demon Lord, it's a member of the cult branch. Qian Yo Woon said. Come in. A man in a dark cloak entered the room and knelt. I greet the Demon Lord of the great heavenly demon divine cult. Qian Yo Woon asked. Who are you? The messenger answered. The darkness sect's Elder Wan has sent me. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Elder Wan, if he sent a member of the darkness sect instead of someone from the secret phantom sect, then it must be an important message. The messenger whispered. They are heading to the 10,000 Great Mountains. Qian Yo Woon reacted in shock. They are. Outside the fortress, the divine physician carried the baby as guards prepared her granddaughter's coffin. Hey, watch out, a guard shouted. Hiya, hey, watch out as to not damage the coffin. The narrator explains. Qian Yo-un prepared to return to the cult immediately that afternoon. His original plan was to leave after the funeral of the divine physician's granddaughter, but due to the unexpected guest, he had no choice but to hurry. He was only able to leave after promising a grand funeral at the main cult location. The preparations are all complete. We just need to leave now. Moon Gyu replied. All right, she asked. What about the Demon Lord? Hyo Bong answered. He's gone to see Master Wang with Elder Yin and Elder Yang. Moon Gyu thought to herself. Master Wang mentioned marriage to the Demon Lord because of the matter with Lady Wang. Is that what they're talking about? Ho Sangwa asked with concern. Moon Gyu, are you okay? Moon Gyu stammered. Huh? I'm fine, thanks for worrying about me. She thought to herself. Yeah, there's no need to overthink it. I'll just trust the Demon Lord as I always have. The only person I love. At the same time, Qian Yo Woon met with Wang Jian and his family. Elder Yin thought to himself. You unbelievable. How could this be? The unrivaled sword Wang Jian and his children are asking to enter the cult? Qian Yo Woon said. Lord Wang Jian. Wang Jian bowed deeply. I hope you won't turn us down. Please permit our entrance so that we may repay you for saving my daughter's life. I was going to push the marriage issue with Lady Wang anyway, but for the entire family to voluntarily enter the cult. This is great. This is unexpected. Wang Jian had been discussing marriage after the duel, but within an hour, he had changed his attitude on the matter. Could it be her idea? He saw Yogun blushing as she looked away. Wang Jian cleared his throat. Ahem, Demon Lord, let us discuss the topic of marriage later. I think it's better for you two to get to know each other first instead of rushing this matter. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, I'm certain. This was definitely Lady Wang's idea. But to enter my cult? That's not what I had expected. I guess Lady Wang is different from the other women, Wang Jian said. All right. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. The unrivaled sword Wang Jian is asking me to enter my cult. How could I not be happy about that? He spoke aloud. Welcome, Wang Jian shouted with joy. Thank you, Demon Lord. I mean, you have our gratitude, Demon Lord. Yang Danhua smiled. Demon Lord, congratulations. Congratulations on having the unrivaled sword in the cult. Elder Yin thought to himself. This is a big deal. This is big enough to tip the balance that's been kept between the orthodox and unorthodox factions. A few days later, the group was at a midway point on the road to the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult. Qian Yo Woon spoke to the messenger. I think they will reach the main cult location within 2 days. The messenger asked. 2 days. Qian Yo Woon asked his subordinates. How much longer do we need to go? Yang Danhua answered. Even if we hurry, it'll take at least 3 days. Qian Yo Woon decided. Then we have no choice. I'll go on my own first. Heo Bong flinched. Demon Lord, did something happen? Qian Yo Woon replied. Uninvited guests are visiting the cult. Yang Danhua asked. Uninvited guests. Elder Yin requested. Demon Lord, Elder Yang and I will come with. Qian Yo Woon commanded. No. Return to the cult with everyone else safely as planned. It's faster for me to go on my own. Heo Bong cried out. Demon Lord. Qian Yo Woon launched into the air and vanished. Heo Bong asked, who could the guests be for him to be in such a hurry? Elder Yin replied, I'm not sure. The public thinks the Demon Lord is supposed to be in isolated training. If the guests are people he has to greet even then. Could it be? 2 days later, near the 10,000 Great Mountains. Qian Yo Woon sprinted through the trees. I'll reach the main cult soon. It was worth running for 2 days without rest. Huh? He landed on a branch and looked down. I feel a lot of presence nearby. He saw a large carriage and banners. That's the royal family's crest. They're really from the palace. Strange. I heard that they are separate from the Zhonghu. So why is it that those people have learned martial arts? He scanned the escort, especially the one in the front. He's in the evolutionary realm. The one who seems to be the next in command looks to be around the level of Supreme Peak. They're on a different level from the soldiers in the back, who are first-rate and early peak. Nano, zoom in. The voice in his head replied. Zooming in according to the user's eyes. Qian Yo Woon observed a commander. That middle-aged man is definitely skilled in martial arts, but he's also experienced in war. The one beside him is the strange one. He has the aura of a high-ranking official student rather than that of a mere soldier. On the other hand, the person being guarded by them has not learned any martial arts. I wonder who it is. At the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult Northern Fortress entrance, Wan Yi stood on the wall, biting his nail. A whirlwind of energy appeared behind him. Wan Yi turned, the narrator explains. It was the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult Great Guardian, Malagayam. Wan Yi asked, is the Demon Lord not here yet? Malagayam answered, no, this is bad. The people of the Royal Palace are almost here. Wan Yi agreed, you're right. This is bad. Malagayam suddenly flinched. Someone's coming this way. The person's very fast. I can't tell who it is. That means they're much more skilled than me. Who could it be? Elder Wan, I think we need to prepare for an attack. Wan Yi asked in confusion. What do you mean, an attack? Malagayam pointed toward the distant trees. Look over there. Wan Yi wondered. What am I supposed to see? A fast-moving blur raced through the forest, kicking up leaves. Wan Yi reacted in shock. Oh, what? I can't even see it without concentrating because of how fast it's moving. What could that be? Malagayam suggested. I think we need to activate the barriers. He grit his teeth. Ha! It had to be now. Malagayam suddenly yelled. Wait, Elder Wan, stop. Wan Yi flinched. Malagayam sensed the powerful aura. This presence. He recognized the figure approaching. It's the Demon Lord. Wan Yi gasped. What? It's the Demon Lord? Wan Yi thought to himself. I almost made a big deal out of it. It would have been better if he came from the other gate's direction. What is he trying to do? There's about 400 meters of just flat ground in between the forest and the fortress walls. He'll have no choice but to show himself once the forest is at its end. Qian Yo Woon leapt from the highest tree at the edge of the woods. Malagayam shouted, Demon Lord, what is he planning to do? The Demon Lord moved through the empty air as if walking on solid ground. Wan Yi was stunned. You unbelievable. That's Void Walk? Malagayam observed in awe. The Demon Lord is using the Qinggung technique that's said to be the pinnacle of all Qinggung techniques. He's attained a higher realm than me in just a month. Qian Yo Woon unsheathed his sword and threw it into the air. He stepped onto the floating blade and sped toward the castle. Wan Yi stammered. Malagayam noted. Even the blade flight technique. Wan Yi asked, Great Guardian, what do you think happened out there? Malagayam answered, that's what I would like to ask. We have no time. Let's go after him. Wan Yi replied, understood. Qian Yo Woon landed inside the castle walls. Great Guardian and Elder Wan, the Demon Lord has gone down to the inner castle. Malagayam knelt immediately. Malagayam, the Great Guardian, greets the Demon Lord. Wan Yi joined him. The seventh Elder, Wan Yi, greets the Demon Lord. Qian Yo Woon asked, how have you been? Malagayam answered, good, of course. Demon Lord, I apologize, but you will have to hurry and prepare to greet guests. In the Great Hall, Elder Moon Yian bowed. The inferior devotees of the divine cult greet the Demon Lord. The other cultists shouted together. We greet the Demon Lord. Qian Yo Woon spoke to the assembly. Thanks for leading the cult while I was in isolated training. The people from the royal palace are coming, so the remaining elders and the 6 swords troop, please follow me to the northern gate. The group responded. Yes, sir. A massive royal carriage and a legion of soldiers approached the northern fortress. Malagayam observed, it seems like that escort warrior is in the evolutionary realm. A general in heavy armor shouted. Citizens of the Great Ming Empire. I am the Southern Military General, Yian Namgun, of the Great Ming Empire. The Southern Military General? That means, Wan Yi whispered, Demon Lord, he's from the Embroidered Uniform Guard. Qian Yo Woon flinched, the narrator explained. Embroidered Uniform Guard, a secret guard force of the Great Ming Empire that served to guard the emperor. The Southern Military General is second to the head of the Embroidered Uniform Guard, the commander, and is a high government official along with the Northern Military General. Qian Yo Woon wondered, who is in the carriage for them to have such high-ranking officers guarding them? An official stepped forward with a golden scroll. General Yian Namgun roared at the cultists. Impertinent, kneel to the ground right this moment and listen to the imperial command. The cult elders and warriors stared back with cold, silent eyes. General Yian Namgun grit his teeth in a rage. I didn't think the demon cult members would easily kneel, but I didn't expect such a cold reaction from them. He glared at the crowd. You, a voice called out from inside the carriage. It's fine, just you won't do. A large man in fine robes stepped out of the carriage. He announced loudly, I am here on the orders of the Great Ming Empire's emperor. I am Zhu Taigum, Prince Cheng. The crowd of cultists murmured in surprise. Prince Cheng? Is he the son of the emperor, then? Wan Yi thought to himself. I had my expectations since the guards were so advanced, but for it to really be the prince, Prince Cheng grit his teeth and yelled. You are all so impertinent. You see that I hold the scroll of imperial command in my hands, yet you continue to stand and stare. Not only that, but all your chins are up despite the prince himself being here. Qian Yo Woon looked down in silence. The prince pointed at him and asked, are you the demon lord of the demonic cult? He thought to himself as he smirked. He looks really young. He's just a kid. I don't feel any aura from him. He's not a martial artist. He's just a normal person, basically. They say from pure spring, pure water flows. It seems like since the leader doesn't behave, neither will the subordinates. Prince Cheng ordered, come here right now and kneel in front of me to take the emperor's orders. Elder Moon Yian's fist trembled with rage. How dare he? Elder Moon Yian and Yang Danhua thought simultaneously. Insult the demon lord. A dark, terrifying aura began to bleed out from Qian Yo Woon. A soldier shouted in fear. Huke! The horses are suddenly. Whoa! Whoa! General Yian Namgun yelled. You dare to exude this ominous aura aimed at the prince who has brought the imperial command? Do you all intend to commit treason? The prince thought to himself. Kuhuhu, you people won't be able to do a thing. Even if you're the demonic cult, you can't fight against the royal family's multi-million army. Elder Moon Yian stepped forward and said, Demon Lord, Zhu Taigum is the second son of the current emperor. I don't know if he's reasonable enough, but would it be okay for me to try and talk to him? Qian Yo Woon replied, I permit it. Elder Moon Yian walked toward the carriage. Prince Cheng thought to himself. How silly. Seeing as the leader himself won't step up, he really must be useless. The prince flinched as the elder approached. Elder Moon Yian saluted. It is an honor to be in the presence of your Imperial Highness, Prince Cheng. The prince's subordinate yelled, You dare to greet his Imperial Highness in such a manner instead of kneeling? Kneel immediately in front of. The guard suddenly collapsed under intense pressure. He thought to himself, Kook, I can't breathe because of the aura coming from that old man. I can't even open my mouth to speak. Your Imperial Highness, we, the members of the great heavenly demon divine cult, do not kneel to anyone except the demon lord, who is our heaven to us. The prince reacted with shock. We have a mutual non-aggression treaty with the great Ming Empire. We're equal to each other while being unrelated as well. The first emperor of the great Ming Empire received our cult's help to establish the empire, and that is when we signed the treaty. So why do you demand that we kneel? Zhu Tegum roared. You inferior peasant, dare to. Do you dare to lecture me, the Prince Cheng? What are you all doing? Make him kneel right now. The guards charged. The elder thought to himself. You brought this upon yourselves. He flicked his fingers and shattered the incoming blades. A guard thought in shock. He destroyed our swords with just his enhanced energy? General Yin Namgun grit his teeth. I knew he wasn't any ordinary old man. Q, the prince screamed. Why are you struggling against one mere old man? If you fail to make him kneel, I will slash your throats myself. The guards trembled as they pulled out their weapons. He continued to strike them down one by one. Prince Cheng thought in terror. This can't be. The royal guards have learned the martial arts of the royal family. How can they be so easily defeated? He ordered frantically. They attack him all at once. He's no easy opponent. The elder punched through the ranks. The prince gasped. What? The soldiers were sent flying into the air. Prince Cheng asked in panic. What is happening? Any more volunteers? General Yin Namgun shouted. Treason! Protect His Imperial Highness. He ordered the shield bearers to form a wall. The shields slammed into the ground. The general thought to himself. They're bringing ruin upon themselves. Qian Yo Woon suddenly stood behind Prince Cheng and said, You seem to be having fun. The prince flinched in shock. Qian Yo Woon looked down with a cold gaze. The prince thought to himself. Ish, how did he get through all the guards? Hoo, he thought to himself. Hot blood from deep within his heart is what I should feel. Qian Yo Woon thrust his hand into the prince's chest. Blood sprayed everywhere as Zhu Tegum screamed. Ah! Why you? Prince Cheng roared in a panic. You dare. He tried to strike back, but Qian Yo Woon delivered a brutal upward slash with his energy. The force of the blow sent the prince reeling. Kua! Qian Yo Woon looked at him with cold eyes and remarked. You're being dramatic. He reached out and slammed the prince's face into the ground. Prince Cheng groaned through the dirt. Kiak! K-kook! The surrounding royal guards watched in disbelief. What? He's holding that large of a man with just one hand? The prince struggled and yelled. Do you realize what you're doing right now? With this, you've made an enemy out of the Imperial. Qian Yo Woon tightened his grip and interrupted. You talk quite a lot for someone who's supposed to be Imperial. He threw the prince aside like trash. The prince rolled across the stone floor before coming to a stop. He looked up and stammered. Do you think you'll be fine after doing this to me, the Prince Cheng? Qian Yo Woon walked toward him as a dark aura flared around his body. Prince, he looked down with a terrifying smile. Do you still think that kind of bullshit will work on us? The prince stared back in pure terror. The narrator explains. 3 days ago, Prince Cheng sat inside his royal carriage and asked. Southern Military General, are you there? General Namgun replied from his horse. Yes, I am right here, Your Imperial Highness. The prince asked. Southern Military General, whose land is this? The general answered. The Great Ming Empire's Emperor, His Majesty. The prince continued. Then who are the people who live here? The general said. The Emperor, His Majesty and the Great Ming Empire's civilians. Prince Cheng shouted angrily. So, why is it that these martial artist ruffians are disdaining the Great Ming Empire? If His Majesty gives an imperial command, they should come running and kneel at our feet. But it's the opposite, and we're the ones going to them. He clenched his fist and added. Even if the founding emperor had received their help, I don't understand why he's formed this kind of tradition. The narrator explains. The mutual non-aggression treaty formed between the Zhonghu and the empire was about 180 years ago, signed by the founding emperor of the Great Ming Empire and the heads of the 3 great forces of the Zhonghu. The martial artists of the Zhonghu, who possessed incomparable strength, were a very dangerous threat to the empire. There were emperors that fought wars with the Zhonghu, but the founding emperor of the Ming Empire believed this to be a waste of national power and decided to sign a mutual non-aggression pact. Prince Cheng muttered, I really do not like the demonic cult. The emperor, His Majesty should be the heaven, but these bastards dare to call their cult leader their heaven? How are they so different from the orthodox faction's martial artists? The general thought to himself. I guess Prince Cheng would hate them even more since he's learned the martial arts of the imperial family and the Taoists. As far as I know, the unorthodox faction and the demonic cult have quite different views on things compared to the orthodox faction. The prince snapped. Views? How silly. Is that not their own problem to deal with? Is the Orthodox faction the only people of the Great Ming Empire in the Jianghu? I cannot let this go on any longer. What do you think? Yuk Young, the narrator explains. Great Ming Empire low-ranking civil official Yuk Young. Yuk Young smiled and said, according to my informant, their current cult leader chased away the former one to take his spot. The prince asked. Oh, the general added. I heard that he is a rather powerless individual who has removed talented individuals from their positions, Yuk Young suggested. If you set things straight in the cult, you will earn the trust of His Majesty. This will be a great opportunity for you to establish your position, Your Imperial Highness. The prince smirked. Interesting. Keep going. The scene returned to the present at the fortress gate. General Namgun thought to himself. You said all you needed to do was to show the dignity of the empire, but you've caused a lot more trouble than expected. Especially him. The authority of the imperial family does not have any impact on him. The general grit his teeth and realized. Kook, I cannot have him approach Prince Cheng. He pointed and commanded, arrest that man immediately. The soldiers charged, but Qian Yo Woon moved so fast he seemed to vanish. A soldier cried out. He disappeared. Is this the swift clone technique? The general spun around and yelled. Behind us. Great Guardian Mala Gayam and Elder Wan Yi appeared behind the formation. You better be prepared to lose at least an arm if you wish to go past us. The general flinched. I can't move. I've never felt this kind of murderous energy before. This is bad. He looked around at the drawn blades. The demonic cult members are surrounding us with weapons. Qian Yo Woon walked past the guards. The general shouted. Stop. Do you really intend to make enemies out of the empire? Qian Yo Woon stopped and performed a formal martial arts salute toward a specific guard. The demon lord said, you look good in that armor. The guard looked up with a calm expression and replied. I greet Prince Chen. What? He recognized me? Since when has he known my identity? Did he know from the beginning and was just playing along? General Namgun pointed his sword and yelled. The Jianghu and the royal family may have a non-aggression treaty, but do you think that gives you permission to harm the officials and threaten His Imperial Highness? Kiki, Mr. Southern Military General, weren't you guys the ones that started this whole thing, not us? The general flinched. He thought to himself, he's right, but if we surrender to their force, that would break down the authority of the royal family, let alone the mutual non-aggression pact. I need to stop that from happening as the Southern Military General. The general shouted. Even then, that is not enough reason to harm an official of the Great Ming Empire. In the first place, creating this conflict was that Yu Kyung's own doing. It is not the will of the Great Ming Empire. Qian Yo Woon smirked. He looked at the guard in armor and spoke. I will ask Prince Chen. In our divine cult, when we find that someone impersonated me, we eliminate them on the spot. I would like to ask how the royal family deals with those who impersonate the prince. The guard flinched. Qian Yo Woon stated, let me tell you just this one thing. If it weren't for the non-aggression pact, he would be dead right now. The guard thought to himself. He's right. Even the Great Ming Empire's royal family executes those who impersonate a royal family member and even kills their families. This man is not just smart with martial arts. The general shouted. All right. Either way, this kind of behavior is impertinent to the royal family. So step away from His Imperial Highness right this moment. The general charged at the demon lord with his blade. Great Guardian Mala Gayam moved instantly to intercept him. The general groaned. Kook, he hit my arm away that easily? How is his chi this strong? He stared at the masked man and thought. Just who is this masked man? Mala Gayam continued his assault. The general gasped. Kook! The guardian delivered a heavy kick that sent the general sliding across the ground. Mala Gayam attacked again. The general reacted in surprise. Huh? He was knocked back with a powerful blow. You. Mala Gayam stood over him and warned. Do not dare to aim your sword at the demon lord. The royal soldiers looked on in terror. You unbelievable. He defeated the Southern Military General. At this rate, they might as well threaten Prince Chen. We cannot win against them in force. But we cannot surrender to them either. The fat official in the carriage screamed. Impertinent. How dare you fight my guard, the Southern Military General, and threaten the embroidered uniform guard? You must have no fear of the Great Ming Empire's military of millions. Qian Yo Woon smirked at him. You're quite brave. The official thought to himself. Even if he's an expert martial artist, he shouldn't be able to withstand millions of arrows raining down on him. I need to be even bolder. The official shouted. Do you still not know? If you harm me just a bit, the demon cult will disappear. Qian Yo Woon and his subordinates glared back with cold indifference. The official wondered in a panic. Oh, what? Why are they not reacting at all? Qian Yo Woon noted. When one displays too much bravery, it turns into recklessness. I was being careful since you're the first person I've met from the royal family, but I am rather disappointed. The official asked. What? Qian Yo Woon raised his hand as blue energy swirled around it. A military of millions, the official stammered. Oh, what? Suddenly, the weapons of all the soldiers began to shake and fly into the air. A soldier screamed, "Huke! And no! My sword!" Dozens of blades hovered in the sky above Qian Yo Woon. General Namgun shouted in shock. Qi sword control? This is Qi sword control? He's not just controlling a couple of swords freely. Is the demon cult's leader not human? Malagayam thought to himself. I made an assumption when the demon lord was using void steps, but he really has reached the mystic realm. Within just a month, too. The cultists dropped to their knees in worship. Oh, dear heavenly demon, the heavenly demon really has descended upon us in modern day. Qian Yo Woon walked toward the official. The official trembled. Oh, what? He fell to the ground as an invisible force gripped him. Huke. And my body is. Qian Yo Woon leaned in and asked. You didn't think that the reason we have the non-aggression treaty is because the heavenly demon divine cult was afraid of the royal family's military of millions, did you? If you did, then you're wrong. The official gasped. Huke. Qian Yo Woon declared with a dark smile. The reason we have the mutual non-aggression treaty is because the emperor was scared of us. The official stammered in fear. Will you dare? Why would the founding emperor of the great Ming Empire be afraid of the G? Huke. Qian Yo Woon tightened his pressure and said, I assume your military acts upon your orders. But what if you're gone? The official asked in terror. Oh, what? How dare you say such impertinent things? Qian Yo Woon smiled. Would you notice if martial artists as skilled as I were to sneak into the palace in the night? In a world where Prince Chen, the emperor, and all of the royal family are dead, whose orders will the military of millions of the great Ming Empire heed? The general thought to himself, he's being serious. He's telling me that he can make all those hypotheticals come true if he wished. Qian Yo Woon asked, do you now understand why the agreement came to be? The general nodded his head in defeat. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself as he looked at the sky, it's not actually for that reason only. If it was, then the royal family would not even exist today. It is said that there is a hidden power within the royal family. It is because the emperor is protecting that power, that an attempt at assassination would be impossible, unless the person is a supreme martial artist. Well, it seems like neither Prince Chen nor his guards know, so there is no need to bring that up. He waved his hand, and the floating weapons clattered to the ground. The soldiers cried out, Shit! Oh, our weapons, is the Qi sword control not in effect anymore? Qian Yo Woon reached for the golden scroll and said, well, then, I should read what the imperial order is, since you so kindly brought it here yourself. Suddenly, an agonizing scream echoed through the fortress. Kua! Qian Yo Woon looked back and thought. This voice. Yuk Young, the narrator explains. Earlier, Yuk Young tried to crawl away from the cultists. Don't come near me. You bastards. I'm an official of the royal family. A cultist laughed. An official of the royal family? Ha, that's funny. Yuk Young grit his teeth. Damn it. They really are going to kill me at this rate. The illusionary sword clan leader, Muk Yin, appeared and commanded. Stop. He grabbed Yuk Young by the collar. Kook, do not move. I'd love to rip you to shreds right now, but I'll spare your life for now. Yuk Young thought to himself. I need to stay alive. Even if I'm in this shitty situation, it's still better than hell. Shit. He suddenly began to shiver. But, why am I so cold? Huh, Huke. Blood began to pour from his eyes and mouth. Muk Yin asked. Oh, what's wrong? Yuk Young gasped. It feels like my insides are being cut up by blades. Keuheuk. He collapsed as a dark purple mist erupted from his body. A cultist shouted. Kook. Oh, what is this smoke? Everyone, back off. This is poisonous energy. Yuk Young wondered as he lay dying. Kook, when was I poisoned? Could it have been him? The poison is seeping out of him like vapor. Qian Yo Woon landed beside the dying official and grabbed his arm. Wan Yi yelled. It's dangerous. Demon Lord. There is poison coming from his body. Qian Yo Woon noted. His heart is beating, but it's slowing down. He's on the brink of death. TCH. I have no choice. He unleashed a surge of blue energy to try and stabilize the man. A cultist asked. Oh, what? The poisonous energy is being purified? Another added. Ah, the Demon Lord has reached the peak of martial arts. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. I can't chase out the poison because it's already spread throughout his entire body. I'm just pouring water into a cracked pot at this point. Wan Yi asked. What happened to him? Oh, I sealed his pressure points as soon as his inner energy could no longer circulate. His pressure points? That means the poison spread as soon as his inner energy stopped circulating. Somebody did this to him in order to prevent him from exposing any information, but who? Qian Yo Woon thought, it's impossible to save him anyway. I need to take a look at his chi paths by imbuing him with my inner energy. This is fat extraction art? The narrator explains. Fat extraction art. It was created by the Shaolin of the Orthodox faction. It looks like you are simply fattening yourself up, but it is a kind of chi arts that allows you to collect inner energy quickly. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Then is he a spy of the Orthodox faction? Why would they have the royal family and my cult get into a conflict? This is strange. Nano, prepare an MRI scan. The voice in his head replied. Understood. Magnetic resonance imaging preparations complete. Scan the body of the target. The head first. Scanning the target. Printing results. Qian Yo Woon looked at the holographic display and gasped. This is. The scan revealed a parasitic centipede embedded in the official's brain. The official let out a final groan. Kook! He collapsed to the floor and died. Qian Yo Woon stared at the body and thought. This method. It's similar to the one the master of blade sword, Li Beck, had in his head. Then it must be the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect. To think their influence reaches the imperial family. Is the imperial order also related to him? He unfurled the golden scroll. This is an imperial order. Everyone, bow down. General Namgun dropped to his knees. The general thought to himself. They didn't even bow down to the Daemyong Empire's imperial order. How rude. Qian Yo Woon read the text. I wish to invite several honored guests and you, venerable heroes, to the place where the non-aggression treaty with the Crown Prince will be signed. He thought to himself. Unlike the Sage King's attitude, this is written quite respectfully. The invitation day, the Dano festival? I need to ask how this came to be. He moved instantly, appearing right in front of the general. The general flinched in shock. Oh, what's wrong? Qian Yo Woon asked. Do you know the contents of this scroll? The general answered. Not specifically, but generally, yes. Qian Yo Woon asked. Then do you know who else is receiving this invitation? The general replied. It was delivered to the leaders of each force. Qian Yo Woon asked in surprise. All 3 forces? He thought to himself. There have only been around 5 cases where the great 3 forces gathered in one place in all of Zhonghu history. And excluding 2 of those, they were all during the Great Wars. Is the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect trying to cause a war between the great 3 forces again? The general explained. If His Holiness is referring to us, the Orthodox Muram Alliance, and the Unorthodox Alliance, then there is one other group. It is a rising force called the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. The scene shifted to Wangshen. Deep inside a hidden stone chamber, blood-curdling screams echoed. Kua! Ah! A woman in dark armor sat among rows of jars. She heard the screams. Kua! Ah! She thought to herself, is it the demonic cult again? Although it's a shame to lose the spies that we spent a lot of time on standby, it's a good thing I put Yuck Young in there beforehand. Recently, the second plan shattered in vain. If those steps had connected properly, we would have already captured the demonic cult. This time, I took steps to ensure no traces would be left. Regardless of what you bastards do, you won't be able to find out anything about this sect. The scene moved to Henan province, at the Orthodox Muram Alliance temple. Alliance head Li Mok offered a jar of wine. Your Highness, please accept a cup from the gods. Soul King Zhu Taiyan laughed. Ha 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 ha, I feel great because you're treating me so well. Peng Chungwoon and Zhuge Sohi watched the celebration from the hallway. Peng Chungwoon thought to himself. We haven't even sorted the spies out properly yet, but we've already been feasting for 4 days straight. I don't know if this will be okay, Captain Zhuge. Zhuge Sohi replied. That is correct, but nothing bad will come from the alliance being favorably looked upon by the Soul King, who will be the next emperor. With the current situation, that is. She narrowed her eyes. It's only been a few months since I've been to the demonic cult, but we've already caught a lot of hidden spies. We can't even identify how many spies remain in the 9 sects. Just when did they begin to penetrate the Zhonghu for there to be so many spies planted? Perhaps the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect has existed for a long time, Peng Chungwoon asked. Captain Zhuge, I'm suspicious of something. She asked. What is it? He answered. I can't help but feel that this coming non-aggression treaty ceremony is related to the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. Would this obvious trap really catch the demonic cult and the unorthodox alliance? She replied confidently. It will, he asked. What do you mean? She explained. Do you remember the young demon lord? No, the current demon lord we saw before. He was truly incredible. After that incident occurred, it wasn't long before he came to power in the demonic cult, so he is incredible and scary. If it were me, I'd take advantage of the trap they set. There's no way that the current demon lord Qian Yo-an would not be able to think of this. He asked, then do you think the demon lord will come himself? She answered, yes. From what I saw of him, he would never let this opportunity go. A man in blue robes walked up to them and said, that is great to hear, Sister Zug. The narrator explains, it was Zug Sohi's fiancé and the eldest son of the Muram Alliance head, Yin Buso. Zug Sohi called out happily. Gaga Yin. Peng Chungwon thought to himself. How did I not notice him come this close? His martial arts has improved again. The Muram Alliance's 7 masters put their hearts and souls into raising the next-term future of the Orthodox Alliance, Yin Buso. Watching his development makes me wonder who will be able to face him in the future. He looked at the distance and thought. But in some ways, the heavens are truly fair. They sent down the demonic cult's current demon lord, a man who may become a good rival for him. Zug Sohi asked, it's nice to see you talking about Gaga? Yin Buso replied, it's an opportunity to look at him, the man who Master Peng, Master Morang, and Zug Mina, who were sent as envoys, spoke so highly of. She noted, I thought he wasn't interested at all when I first brought this up. Do you want to see him? Yin Buso smirked. Well, since he's the man who will walk with me to the next generation. The narrator explains, time passed like this since the special imperial envoy visited the heavenly demon divine cult. The sage king, Ju Taegum, who was very scared of the people of the demonic cult, quickly talked business and tried to pull out, but due to Qian Yo-an's advice, he helplessly ended up entering the demonic cult. Compared to his expectations of this being a scary time, the heavenly demon divine cult treated the sage king hospitably. Although it was difficult to adjust to their changed attitudes at first, as several days passed, the sage king spent his time eased up due to their incredible hospitality. Ju Taegum sat in his guest room and thought, the atmosphere isn't bad. Other than the Orthodox Muram Alliance, the other 2 forces always sent proxies to the treaty ceremonies so that they could save face. If the demon lord happens to participate this time, the emperor's prestige will rise. His Majesty said that diplomacy is a skill. If the situation changes because of this, my position, which is lower than that of the Soul Kings, will rise. Loud knocking came from the door. General Namgun called out, Your Highness, this is the Southern Military General, Yin Namgun. The prince said, Come in. The general entered and said, I apologize for visiting so late, Your Highness. The prince replied, It's fine, please sit down. Southern Military General, if things go well, do you think the divine cult's leader will participate in the treaty ceremony? The general paused. Oh, he looked around the room. The prince waited. The general released a burst of chi. I apologize. I have set up a barrier around this room with true energy so that you can comfortably speak now, Your Highness. The prince smiled. Amazing, Southern Military General, you truly understand my thoughts well. The fact that they're treating me so well must mean that they are favoring us, right? I can't tell the demon lord's intentions yet. Of course, how great would it be if he gave us a definite answer? Meanwhile, in the inner medical pavilion, demonic physician Baek Jongwoo watched Gam Rosu work. He thought to himself, she's been giving him acupuncture for an hour now. She truly is the best physician of Zhongyuan. And her medical techniques are several steps ahead of the established techniques too. And those muscles, they haven't faltered even after an hour. Ho ho, I should also hone my physical arts. Gam Rosu turned and asked, You said you were the demonic physician, right? He answered, Yes, divine physician. I mean, Gam Rosu. She requested, The needles need to be removed after an hour. Can I ask that of you? I'm exhausted. I think I need to rest now. He replied, Of course. Leave the rest to me. Qian Yo-woon entered the pavilion with Wan Yi. He asked, How is he? Gam Rosu answered, Although his spiritual veins have been damaged from quite a long time ago, we've passed the critical stage. We'll need to keep an eye on him. He'll wake up within half a month. Qian Yo-woon thought to himself. Nano's MRI scans and medical information are great, but they're not perfect. Internal injuries from martial arts can't be known, even by future medicine. He said aloud, You've worked hard. Please go in and rest. She replied, I apologize. Then, I will take my leave. Wan Yi stepped forward and saluted. The 7th elder Wan Yi respectfully greets the demon lord. Qian Yo-woon said, Welcome. Wan Yi smiled. I'll cut to the chase. I've found it, demon lord, the narrator explains. The next day, at the heavenly demon divine cult northern gates. Ju Taegum, Prince Cheng, stood before the departing carriage and said with a smile. Thanks to demon lord Qian, we were able to relieve our fatigue and receive good treatment. I will go back and make a report that we received heartwarming hospitality. Qian Yo-woon replied politely. It's a relief you've rested well. The prince noticed the scroll held by an official. He thought to himself, That's the letter with the demon lord's stamp on it? The atmosphere was quite positive yesterday, so we can have our hopes up. The prince cleared his throat. Ahem. So, have you made your decision, Demon Lord Qian? Qian Yo Woon answered. I apologize, but I will have to send a representative to the ceremony. The prince reacted in shock. Oh, what? The royal carriage departed the fortress. In the end, they were leaving without getting what they wanted. General Yin Namgun watched from his horse and thought to himself. Seeing how we're leaving the demonic cult without even looking back, the Sage King is also very disappointed. Inside the carriage, Ju Taegum sat alone and frustrated. He groaned. Kook. He slammed his hand onto the table. Damn bastard. What an embarrassment. After giving me hope. If the emperor had invited him, he should have been subservient and come immediately. A dark voice came from the shadows behind him. So that's what you were thinking. The prince flinched in terror. He saw Qian Yo Woon standing in the corner of the carriage. Demon Lord Qian, how did you? He tried to speak, but his voice was suddenly cut off. Hube, he thought to himself. He used true energy to close my mouth. How is the person who had been sending me off suddenly in the carriage? Qian Yo Woon leaned closer, his eyes glowing with a dark energy. You must have truly hated me all this time. The prince shook his head frantically. Qian Yo Woon smirked. Since you've learned martial arts, you should know how to use the frequency whispering technique, right? He released the pressure with a wave of his hand. The prince gasped for air. Ha! Ha! He thought to himself in despair. Damn it. I guess there's no point in screaming for help. He is a monster who could annihilate the entire royal envoy group if he wanted. Why did I come to the demonic cult to face this ordeal? He asked nervously. Ooh, when did you get in the carriage? Qian Yo Woon replied calmly. It hasn't been that long. The prince thought to himself. Did he get on the moment I opened the carriage door? This man's martial arts has truly reached the skies. So he got in the carriage without any of those numerous people noticing. The narrator explains. Wan Yu was wearing Qian Yo Woon's skin mask to pose as the leader back at the fortress. The prince asked. But what brings you here to my carriage today? Qian Yo Woon answered. Of course, it's so I can go to the palace with you. The prince reacted in shock. To the palace? He pleaded. If you're doing this because of what I said to myself earlier, please do not be angry, Demon Lord Qian. I was just upset because you said you would not be able to attend the ceremony. Qian Yo Woon smiled. That's a relief. This ride could have been uncomfortable. I almost thought you hated me. The prince flinched. Qian Yo Woon stated, I apologize for surprising you by entering your carriage, Your Highness. Now, let's call it even. The prince replied. You understood. Qian Yo Woon stood up. I'll get to the point. You must help me, Sage King. The prince flinched. He thought to himself. This is ridiculous. He's basically telling me to do as he orders, even if he's not holding a sword against me. He spoke aloud. I am afraid of him, but the words of royalty are priceless, so I can't promise anything hastily. What do you want help with? Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. He's surprisingly smart when it comes to important things. I guess royalty is royalty after all. I should coax him a bit. He said aloud. I guess I should explain. You said the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect is attending the ceremony. Is that correct? The prince answered. It is. Qian Yo Woon continued. Yuk Young, the official that came and pretended to be you a week ago, was a spy from the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. The narrator explains. Qian Yo Woon briefly explained the situation of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect appearing in the Zhonghu and the several incidents that happened at the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult to the Sage King, Ju Taegum, who was confused. He also mentioned what was planted in people's bodies by the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect to prevent information from leaking. The prince gasped. My goodness. You're saying that to prevent information from spreading, they plant something like that in people's bodies? Qian Yo Woon noted. And to be honest, there are a few more of their spies outside of Yuk Young within your envoys. The prince reacted in horror. If what you're saying is true, shouldn't we arrest them immediately? Qian Yo Woon shook his head. It would be best to leave them be for now, since we don't know if their influence has spread to the palace. The prince realized, so that's why he went in my carriage secretly. To find and eradicate them. He looked at the demon lord and thought to himself. Although it's important to get rid of enemies you can see first, this man might truly be dangerous as an enemy. Is taking him to the palace the right thing to do? Qian Yo Woon asked. Don't you want to strengthen your position and become the crown prince? The prince flinched in terror. He thought to himself. How does he know something I only mentioned to Yin Namgun yesterday night? A barrier was set up with true energy, so nobody should have heard. Qian Yo Woon reassured him. Don't worry too much. If I find those who are plotting something while hiding in the palace, I'll send them over to you. The prince asked with excitement. Really? Qian Yo Woon smirked. My goal is to eradicate them, not to look good in front of the emperor. The prince thought to himself, as he says, if he finds the spies and the mastermind hiding in the palace, we will look very good to the emperor's eyes. If so, I may be able to surpass the Soul King and get closer to the position of Crown Prince. I do need some achievements in the month leading up to the Nano festival. What should I do? He asked aloud. If I were to reject your offer, what would you do? Qian Yo Woon replied with a smile. I'll leave that to your imagination. The prince flinched. Why yes, even if I don't follow his offer, things will ultimately go his way. Let's just think of it as using him for my own ambitions. I won't lose anything anyway, he said aloud. Well then, please take care of me on our way to the palace. He realized the situation and thought to himself. Hua, does that mean we'll be in the carriage alone? Hua, the narrator explains. Daemyang Empire's capital city premier. Located in the northeastern part of Henan province, it is the biggest city in Zhongyuan with a population close to 500,000. If you enter the outer castle, which is 10 times bigger than the heavenly demon divine cult's castle, it will take hours just to reach the center of the capital city by carriage, showcasing the size of the city. Central part of Dragon Palace South Gate. The carriage horses neighed as they reached the gates. The prince stepped out of the carriage. If finally, we've arrived at the royal palace. He thought to himself. The past 7 days before we entered Hubei province have truly been difficult. How could he spend 7 days with me and not say a single word? The silence was so painful. He looked back at a guard and thought to himself. At least when we entered Hubei, Demon Lord Qian wore Imperial Guard Li Han's skin mask and went out, which helped the prince breathe a little. The real Li Han is at the demonic cult branch in the northern part of Hubei, so how did he prepare that in 7 days? And to think it's good enough that Yin Namgun, their leader, hasn't noticed anything. How fascinating, the prince commanded. 10 of you who will serve his highness will remain. As for the rest, return to your places. The soldiers shouted. Yes, sir. The prince watched Qian Yo Woon walk in formation and thought to himself. I don't even need to do anything. He's following me well. I don't need to choose him separately. Qian Yo Woon looked at the towering buildings and thought to himself. Is that Jinan Palace, where the emperor resides? This palace is truly incredible. When it comes to fanciness, even our castle can't compare. General Namgun sighed. They walked past a line of warriors standing at attention. The narrator explains. East Spear. Are all of them eunuchs? It's almost like looking at Elder Wan. Qian Yo Woon wondered. All the eunuchs can do martial arts? He noticed a beautiful figure leading the group and flinched. He thought to himself. Not to mention, the martial power of the one who seems to be their leader is. The narrator explained. In the Great Ming Empire, there are 4 organizations that have learned martial arts. The Eastern Depot, Western Depot, the Great Flourishing Depot, and the Emperor's Royal Guard, the Embroidered Uniform Guard. The 3 depots are organizations that act only when commanded by the Emperor. In other words, they are depot guards. They have been a part of the Empire's long history, having been bestowed the authority of arresting whomever without regard to class and even imprisoning and executions on the spot. They took in the Embroidered Uniform Guards as a part of their own organization under the excuse that their own organization had enlarged and had to undertake too much work. This led to a conflict between the Embroidered Uniform Guards commander and the Eastern Depot's admiral, causing resentment. General Namgun thought to himself. He's not hiding his hostility to our faces. The leader of the eunuchs smiled. I greet the Prince Chen. Hoo, the narrator explained. It was the Eastern Depot admiral's aide, Oh Taesung. Prince Cheng replied. It's been a while, Oh Taesung. General Namgun thought to himself. Seems like Prince Chen doesn't like him much either. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Anyway, the strange yin energy I feel from him seems to be much different from the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sects martial arts. I thought there would only be a handful who had learned martial arts if the embroidered uniform guards were excluded, but just here, there are several hundred that have learned martial arts. At this rate, it's going to take hours. Oh Taesung noted. You must have had a hard journey here, Your Imperial Highness. Prince Cheng stated. It's the Emperor's command. Oh Taesung mocked. Hoo, you're so daring even after having met the inferior demonic cult people. You sure are amazing. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself angrily. Inferior, demonic cult people? General Namgun announced. We will escort His Imperial Highness. Oh Taesung commanded coldly. Those below the 4th grade of subordinacy are not allowed to enter the Jinan Palace unless specifically permitted by the Emperor. If you insist, we cannot permit anyone other than the Southern Military General. General Namgun thought to himself. This bastard. He's showing off his authority fully knowing that we're Prince Chen's subordinates. The general ordered, you may return. The guards replied, yes, sir. Oh Taesung laughed. You can return too. Ho ho ho! Tilda General Namgun flinched in rage. Prince Cheng shouted, "You're crossing the line. His Imperial Majesty the Emperor has ordered for the Southern Military General to accompany me." "Don't you know that?" Oh Taesung bowed slightly. "Ah, Tilda, my apologies, Your Imperial Highness." The prince thought to himself. This bastard has been getting even more arrogant ever since the Soul King's position has been established. The order of command is a mess because some eunuch like him has too much power. He noticed Cheon Yo Woon disguised as a guard and thought, "Cult leader Cheon?" Cheon Yo Woon used a secret technique to speak directly to the prince's mind. "Do not mind me. I will see you later at the palace you're staying at." The prince thought to himself, "Well, I'm sure he'll be fine on his own." The dismissed guards walked away and muttered, "Those damn eunuchs. It always pisses me off to see that Oh Taesung." One guard asked, "Isn't he so rude?" Cheon Yo Woon thought to himself. They must have a lot of resentment toward the Eastern Depot. Well, I guess I do, too, since my plan has gone awry thanks to them. How dare he call us inferior? Right now, I'll just have to look into 100 households Yoon, who is suspected to be a spy. There are a total of 5 suspected of being spies. Elder Wan said that 2 of those are within the embroidered uniform guards. From what I can sense, his martial arts level isn't that advanced, but he must be hiding something. The group of soldiers stood in the assembly area. The commander announced, "Good work guarding His Imperial Highness Prince Chen. The Southern Military General said he will allow us 4 days of rest, so relax." The soldiers responded, "Yes, sir." Yoon thought to himself with a smile. "That's good. 4 days is basically a vacation. I was trying to think of ways to avoid work, and now I won't need to." Cheon Yo Woon watched him leave and thought, "I'll be able to figure out who is getting into contact with the 100 households Yoon." Yoon suddenly turned around and asked, "Hey." He looked at the disguised demon lord. "Lee Han, we've got somewhere to be, don't we?" Cheon Yo Woon thought to himself. "Shit, do they know each other?" Cheon Yo Woon replied nervously. "Well, yes." Yoon ordered, "Come with me." Cheon Yo Woon followed, "Yes, sir." They walked through the palace as the moon rose. Cheon Yo Woon thought to himself, "We're taking a very roundabout route. It seems like he's purposefully trying to get noticed by the ones on guard duty. He must be up to something." Yoon handed him a dark cloak. "Take this. We'll make our way discreetly to the 4th storage, so put that on first." Cheon Yo Woon answered, "Yes, sir." They entered a large warehouse. Cheon Yo Woon thought to himself, "It must have been the rice storage. All the rice here could feed everyone within the palace for at least a year. I can feel the presence of those who have learned martial arts here. It's possible that they're the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect if they're being stealthy within the palace. He must be the leader." Suddenly Yoon lunged at Cheon Yo Woon. "You! What did you do with the real Lee Han?" he shouted to the others. "Surround him." A group of cloaked figures appeared from the shadows. Yoon screamed, "Sir, he's a spy. 100 households Yoon Nim. What do you mean?" Yoon yelled. "Shut it. Lee Han is my best friend. He does not speak to me formally when it's just the 2 of us. Plus, he didn't question me at all when I took a very roundabout route." "Who are you?" Cheon Yo Woon remained silent. The leader asked, "Are you certain that he's a spy?" Yoon confirmed, "I am." What a fool, jumping into the mouth of the tiger voluntarily. The mouth of the tiger. He ordered his men, "Bring him to me on his knees." The subordinates shouted, "Yes, sir." Considering I can't sense his chi at all, his inner energy level is obvious. He's this low in level yet, he still acted as a spy? What a fool. He flicked his finger toward the charging men. The soldiers groaned in pain. Kook. The leader watched the explosion and thought to himself, "Oh, what? How can this be?" All he did was flick his finger. Kook. Who is he? And where did he come from? One cloaked man noted, "It seems like he is no regular spy." The Great Hall Master's escort warrior announced, "I will fight him." The leader thought to himself, "The Great Hall Master's escort warrior, his martial arts level is the highest out of all of us. So I'm sure I can expect him to win." The escort charged forward with speed. Cheon Yo Woon moved past him effortlessly. The escort thought in shock. An after image? Cheon Yo Woon appeared beside him and remarked, "You've got quite the interesting sword." The escort coughed blood. "Kook," the leader yelled. "What are you all doing? Go after him." A group of warriors lunged with their blades. Cheon Yo Woon stated coldly, "Foolish." He unleashed a massive burst of energy that shattered the floor. One of the warriors thought, What just happened? This man is not just a normal expert martial artist." Another warrior shouted, "Die." Cheon Yo Woon caught his arm and broke it with ease. The man groaned. KQ Hyuk. The leader thought in terror. He killed the escort warrior so easily. He isn't showing mercy to anyone. Cheon Yo Woon raised his hand and commanded, "Come." An invisible force pulled the leader through the air. Kua. Qian Yo Woon gripped him by the throat and asked, "What about the tiger's mouth?" He looked at the man's face and thought to himself, "A eunuch? His martial arts is somewhere around the supreme peak, but his inner energy is closer to yin energy. His inner energy technique is way too different for it to be of the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect." He asked aloud, "You're not a spy from the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect?" The leader stammered, "A supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect? What are you talking about?" Qian Yo Woon thought, "It doesn't look like he's lying. Did I get the wrong man?" He released his grip on the eunuch's neck. He's let everyone go, but everyone's passed out. 100 households. Yoon watched from the ground and thought, all the expert martial artists of the Eastern Depot are like kids compared to Hai. Qian Yo Woon used his energy to lift Yoon into the air. Qian Yo Woon asked, "Why are the embroidered uniform guards in contact with the Eastern Depot's eunuchs?" Yoon remained silent. Qian Yo Woon smirked. "How funny. You intend to be loyal as a spy?" He broke the man's arm with a snap. Yoon screamed in agony. "Ku." Qian Yo Woon warned, "If you refuse to answer one more time, I'll make sure your other arm looks the same as this one. Nod if you understand." Yoon nodded his head frantically. Yoon confessed, "Kua, I'm a spy from the Eastern Depot." Qian Yo Woon asked, "Eastern Depot? Then you're a eunuch?" Yoon answered while sobbing, "And no, I was just trained there." Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, "What a disappointment. He is completely useless to me." He grabbed the eunuch leader again and asked, "Why were you amongst the palace's special squad? Were you watching Prince Chen?" The eunuch thought in terror. "Oh, what? He's addressing His Imperial Highness so casually. Is he not His Imperial Highness' subordinate?" The eunuch answered, I was ordered to find out if His Imperial Highness Prince Chen happened to form a discreet contract with the cult leader of the demonic cult." Qian Yo Woon realized, "To find out if we formed a secret contract? The Eastern Depot is trying to mess with the succession. Is it in order to prevent Prince Chen from accomplishing anything great? Please spare my life. If you do, I'll make sure no harm gets in His Imperial Highness Prince Chen's path." The eunuch thought to himself, "He is overwhelmingly scary and intimidating. However, he was trained to kill himself if he was found out to be a spy. But now, he's begging for his life instead," Qian Yo Woon thought. Strange. He glared at the man and asked, "Did I say that I was going to let you live? Sorry, what do you mean?" Qian Yo Woon delivered a final, crushing strike. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, "It'd be better to kill them all, but if they were all to disappear at once, then the royal family's security will be upped. Then it'll be much harder to find the spies from the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect. What should I do?" the great hall master of the Eastern Depot pleaded as he was lifted by his throat. "Kook, do we wait, sir? Please listen to me. If you spare my life." Qian Yo Woon ordered coldly. "Shut up." The hall master struggled to breathe and said, "I would like to take you in as our guest Kook." Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, "The Eastern Depot values those who are talented. This eunuch is a residential guest of the Eastern Depot? There must be something more to this. Let's see." He loosened his grip slightly. The eunuch thought to himself, "He loosened his grip on my throat a little. My assumption was correct. It seemed like he had failed his mission, so I thought he would change his mind if I offered something, and I was right." Qian Yo Woon asked, "How funny. The Eastern Depot wants to take me in as a residential guest? You think I'd believe that?" The hall master laughed desperately. "I am the Eastern Depot's great hall master. I have enough power to ask the general to take in someone." The narrator explained the hierarchy. The general is at the top, followed by the left and right emissaries, then the great hall master, and finally the hall masters. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, "So he's the 4th in power in the Eastern Depot. If I may ask, did you perhaps take a quest from the Western Depot?" Western Depot. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself, "If the Eastern Depot is having a conflict with not only the embroidered uniform guards but also the Western Depot, then I'll be able to find the spies from the Western Depot as well as the people from the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect from the spies Elder Wan found. I feel like things are getting more complex as I know more. I didn't intend on jumping into their mess, but I guess I'll play along since I do need to find out a bit more. I cannot say," he thought to himself. "I knew it. They're not sparing their funds if they hired a martial artist as skilled as him. But if I were to persuade him, then we'd have the upper hand." He said to the demon lord, "Sir, I can promise you one thing. I don't know what you received in return for this, but I can promise to give you a lot more than what they—" Qian Yo Woon roared. "Do I look like someone who can be bought with money?" The eunuch screamed in terror. "Kook, that's not what I meant." He thought to himself, "What a cautious man." Then, he suggested, "The general could recommend you to the Soul King since you're so skilled. Qian Yo Woon noted. Seoul King Ju Taeyan, the first prince and the man closest to the emperor's position at the moment. Countless civil servants are supporting him, and the Eastern Depot moves under his command. He asked the eunuch, "Can you really recommend me to His Imperial Highness?" The hallmaster smirked. "Oh, of course. I'm sure His Imperial Majesty would be very happy if it's a grandmaster like you. I was going to report to the general anyway, so should I?" The hallmaster groaned and coughed. Cough, cough. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Worst case scenario, the Supreme Saber of Six Martial Arts sect may be affiliated to the Seoul King. If so, their goal is to not only influence the Zhonghu but the royal family too. This might get a lot more annoying than I thought, but let's play along for now. He performed a shallow salute. Then, "Great Hallmaster, I'll leave it to you." The scene shifted to the Jinan Palace at night, specifically the White Flower Manor where the servants reside. The Darkness sect leader moved through a bamboo forest. He thought to himself, he's finding his way just fine without any light in this dark place. That must mean he's used to this path. I'm sure he won't realize that I'm following him since his martial arts is lower in level than mine. But where is he going? He saw his target meet a woman. He thought to himself, a maid? Considering her age and how fancy her outfit is, she must be a pretty high-ranking one. What are they talking about? Suddenly, he flinched. The maid vanished from his sight. A voice spoke from behind him. "What are you doing here?" The Darkness sect leader spun around in shock. The maid narrowed her eyes and stated, "There are quite a number of rats in the palace. It's time to hunt." The scene shifted back to the palace steps. The hallmaster laughed and said to Qian Yo Woon, "Since an expert martial artist like you is willing to join the Eastern Depot, I'm sure the general will be very happy." Ho 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 tilde Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. He's so talkative. I think this is the first time I've seen someone this talkative ever since Hyobong. The eunuch announced, "We're here tilde this is it." They arrived at the massive eastern hall where the eunuchs resided. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. It's quite large. It could probably fit at least 3,000 people. I guess there's a reason people say the royal palace of the great Ming Empire is full of eunuchs. The hallmaster asked a guard, "Has the general returned yet?" The guard answered, "He hasn't come back yet." Then I assume the right emissary hasn't either. The guard confirmed, "Yes." The hallmaster thought to himself. I guess their job is taking longer than expected. Is it because His Imperial Highness Prince Chen is back? Ah! What should I do? I can't let him into the Eastern Hall without the general. I need at least the right emissary's permission, Qian Yo Woon asked. Is something wrong? That makes things hard for me. The eunuch suggested. Sir? The general hasn't returned yet. What do you think about meeting emissary Jiam in the guest hall first instead? Qian Yo Woon replied. All right. The hallmaster led the way. Then this way. The guest hall is not too far. Qian Yo Woon suddenly stopped. The eunuch asked, Sir, what is it? Qian Yo Woon sensed something and thought to himself. What is this? This otherworldly energy. The scene shifted to the Eastern Faction guest hall. Ugh, what do I do? I shouldn't have done this. The narrator explained. As always, Hyobong followed Qian Yo-an and joined the march. Like the Darkness sect leader, who had infiltrated the place, Hyobong had been assigned to track down one of the spies with him. Boldly enough, Hyobong managed to get into direct contact with the spy he was assigned to on the way to the palace. Hyobong had entered the Eastern Depot, excited that things were working out well. He was appointed for work before he even tried to gain information. Earlier, the spy had told Hyobong, You seem pretty skilled in martial arts. Does a chance at a better life interest you mayhaps? Your martial arts are great, and your face. Ahem. I mean, I like that you are well built. Come to the front of the hall tonight. Hyobong stood in the courtyard and thought to himself. I need to get out of here fast and report to the Demon Lord. But there's no chance for me to escape right now. The guys who were chosen with me are pretty skilled in martial arts, but more importantly, I can't even tell what the martial arts realm of Emissary Jiam sitting up there is. The narrator introduced the Eastern Depot's left emissary, Jiam Ye. Jiam Ye reported to a mysterious woman. Since the prince's appointing ceremony is now going to be held during the Nano festival, adjust the entire schedule. However, the location of the Imperial Palace Guardians is not clear yet, and the predecessor also lost his life because he underestimated the enemy. If we rush things too much because of the incident at the abandoned Sword Valley. She stated coldly, Jiam Ye, you're my subordinate. I do not like when people talk back to me, so obey the orders given to you. Jiam Ye thought to himself. So it was true that he's the most insane one out of the 6 sect leaders. How dare he lay hands on my face when I'm undercover in the royal palace? Therefore, I've chosen the most talented ones. That's all, Emissary Jiam. Hyobong watched from the line and thought to himself. That's Emissary Jiam. Why is he just sitting there, frowning? He needs to say something quickly and wrap things up. I need to leave. Hyobong coughed. Ahem. The other guards flinched in shock. Hyobong thought to himself. What? Why is everyone looking at me like? Jiamye asked with a dark gaze. Who was it? Who just coughed? Hyobong thought in a panic. Shit. Did I just make a mistake? I should just stay quiet. I feel like things are gonna get rather annoying. Jiamye screamed. I asked. Who just coughed? Hyobong thought to himself. Oh, what? He's this mad over a mere cough. This man's a total psycho. Huke. These guys have no loyalty. A soldier stepped forward and pleaded. Emissary. His name is Mu Chung, but this is his first day today. He doesn't know anything. Please have mercy. Jiamye thought to himself. A newbie? Poor thing. He glared at Hyobong and stated. I'm trying to think and you dare to cough? You fool. Hyobong bowed and said. I sincerely apologize, emissary. Please forgive me. Jiamye launched a sudden palm strike at Hyobong's head. Hyobong dodged with quick reflexes. Hyobong thought to himself. Huke. That scared me. My skull would have been crushed by now if I hadn't stayed alert. Jiamye noted. Not only did you cough, but you also dodged your punishment? I will kindly show you how hard life is in the Eastern Depot. Jiamye unleashed a flurry of powerful palm strikes. Hyobong thought to himself. What do I do? It'll be really bad if I dodge this again. But I'll die if I don't dodge. Everyone, back off. We'll all die if we get caught up in that. Hyobong thought to himself. I would have died if I hadn't used enhanced energy just now. It's too late to run away. Then, I have no choice but to fight back. Jiamye yelled. You arrogant little. The two warriors clashed with intense speed. Enhanced energy barrier? Who is this? Damn it. I can't counterattack. The best I can do is deflect his attacks. Just what is this powerful sword technique? I need to use my chi to put up an enhanced energy barrier. Jiamye grabbed Hyobong's arm and mocked him. Stupid bastard, do you intend on stopping me by grabbing my arm since you can't attack back? But my other hand is. Hyobong delivered a heavy blow to Jiamye's chest. Jiamye screamed in pain. Kua! He was sent flying across the courtyard. Jiamye thought to himself. A mere member of the embroidered uniform guards is this skilled in martial arts? A disguised Qian Yo Woon asked. Are you hurt anywhere, Hyobong? Hyobong recognized him and thought to himself. That mask and tone. Demon Lord. Qian Yo Woon noted. Good job, Hyobong. Hyobong asked. Pardon? What did I? Qian Yo Woon explained. You found the spy from the Supreme Saber of Six Martial Arts Sect. He's from the Supreme Saber of Six Martial Arts Sect? Jiamye thought to himself. There is no way a martial artist like him is from the embroidered uniform guards. If he's not from the royal palace, then who is he? Qian Yo Woon suddenly flinched and wondered. What? I feel an otherworldly energy approaching. He warned his subordinate, Hyobong, prepare to either run away or hide when I give the signal. Hyobong replied, huh? Alright. A massive blade of energy suddenly sliced through the air, destroying a nearby building. Jiamye yelled in fear. What? Get your weapons right now and be on guard. A soldier asked. Huh? What do you? Jiamye roared. Don't talk back to me and just do as I say. A violent wind blew through the area, extinguishing the torches. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. It's not just one or two people. The group watched as several silhouettes appeared on the roof of the palace walls. Jiamye gasped. There. He observed the figures on the roof and thought to himself. They're all palace servants. They have an ominous and otherworldly energy to them. Of course, they were never regular servants, but they are also not martial artists. But why are they? A woman in red robes stepped forward. The narrator explains. Royal Palace second-rank servant treasurer Young Wall. Young Wall stated, I chased after the rats that infiltrated the Royal Palace, but you're the only one here. Jiamye called out. Court Lady Young. Young Wall asked. Rats. Do you mean the? Jiamye turned around and reacted in surprise. Huh? He looked at the empty space where his captives had been and thought to himself. They're gone. Both the embroidered uniform guard and the one that coughed. These bastards. Did they escape when the torches went out? Young Wall noted with a cold smile. I have been keeping an eye on the Eastern Faction guest hall for a while now because I knew there were spies hidden here. Jiamye shouted in a rage. Spies? What are you talking about? Don't you know that this is the Eastern Depot's territory? Even you, the treasurer, cannot just come and go here as you wish. Young Wall replied calmly. I'm not here as the head of the court ladies. Jiamye asked. What? Young Wall declared. I'm here as the first in command of the Imperial Palace Guardians, three great supremes that you've been searching so hard for. Jiamye flinched in terror. The narrator explains. The Royal Palace's hidden force, the Imperial Palace Guardians. There are rumors that the Imperial Palace Guardians martial artists possess a level of martial arts that not even most of the Zhonghu's martial artists can surpass. Jiam Ye, who had poured all his efforts into finding the Imperial Palace Guardians, had been searching within the embroidered uniform guards as well as the Western Depot. Jiam Ye thought to himself, "Damn it, how much does she know? I shouldn't try to fight her. I've lost my right arm," he argued. "Court Lady Young, don't you think you're crossing the line by accusing us like this? Look, can't you tell even after seeing that my arm's been cut off? We are also victims," Young Wall asked indifferently. "So what if you're injured? In my eyes, you're just a rat that was bitten by another rat." She commanded her subordinates, "Arrest them all. You may kill them if they resist." The guards shouted, "Yes, ma'am." The servants leapt from the roof into the courtyard. Jiam Ye ordered, "Fight them. Even if they may be the Imperial Palace Guardians, they're all women." The two groups clashed with their blades. "She's using a palm technique without even putting chi around her hands? Though, what kind of? It's definitely her bare hand, but it feels like she has iron wrapped around it." One of Jiam Ye's men thought to himself, "Weapons don't work on them. Then, an attack using enhanced energy works." The man struck a servant and analyzed. "Their bodies are very sturdy, but they're not as strong as using divine indestructible Vajra arts." He suddenly flinched as the servant ignored the wound. Do they not feel pain?" The servant smiled with glowing eyes. "Do not let your guard down. Imbue your weapons with enhanced energy and go for their throats." A soldier thought to himself, "I cut off her arm, but she doesn't even let out a peep." A servant lunged forward with her hand glowing like molten lava. A soldier screamed, "Damn it, what's this now?" The servant struck him in the chest. The soldier coughed blood. "Kook," he groaned in agony. "It feels like my insides are burning." The servant delivered a final fiery blow. Jiam Ye watched the battle and thought to himself, "The flame chi they're using is too foreign feeling to be the yang energy. It's a chi of pure fire, nothing else. Are they perhaps the—" He flinched as a servant approached. She lunged at him. "Kua, you underestimated me just because I lost my arm." He struck the servant with a powerful blow, sending her crashing into the ground. Jiam Ye smirked as he looked at the blood on his hand. Kook. Would you look at that? I finally found you." He let out a sharp whistle to alert his men. Jiam Ye screamed at the top of his lungs. "I permit the use of the blood reversion divine art." His subordinates responded with a shout. "Yes, sir." Treasurer Young Wall thought to herself. The blood reversion divine art? The Eastern Depot soldiers began to undergo a gruesome transformation as their muscles expanded and veins bulged. A palace guard asked in shock, "Oh, what? How did monsters like them infiltrate?" One of the transformed men let out a terrifying roar. Young Wall glared at her own guards and asked, "What are you all doing? Instead of eliminating those who have bared their claws at the imperial family?" She looked toward the enemies and commanded, "Right, now!" Her guards shouted, "Yes, sir." The transformed monsters charged into the palace guards with overwhelming strength. One monster smirked as he tore through the ranks. A guard screamed in agony as he was struck down. Hidden behind a stone pillar. "Huke! Yub!" he thought to himself in a panic. "Shush. Be quiet. They're gonna know we're here otherwise. We're all dead if we make a sound. Seems like we're the only ones alive. None of us can fight, so we need to escape somehow." Another survivor hiding with him thought to himself, "Something's strange. With the ruckus they're causing, the outside soldiers should have already come in to check in. So why isn't anyone?" A drop of blood fell onto his hand. He wondered, "What? Something just, this, is..." He looked up and saw a monster clinging to the ceiling right above them, blood dripping from its mouth. The guard screamed in terror. "Run!" He turned and bolted across the courtyard. He thought to himself desperately, We can't outrun them at this rate. Whatever, I'll sacrifice him." He grabbed his companion and threw him backward toward the monster. The traitor thought, "I'm almost there. If I just make it out of here." The monster caught the man he had thrown and instantly tore him apart. The traitor looked back and yelled, "Oh, what are you doing? I had no choice. At least one of us has to get out of here and alert the others." The monster stood before him and asked, "What do you mean by one of? You'll see." The traitor screamed, "And no, what are you?" The monster slammed the man into the ground. The traitor felt the impact and thought to himself, "I am not dead. Did he just save me? Then, so they were actually on our sea." Before he could finish his thought, the monster crushed his skull. "Haha, guess I was wrong. A way to get out of here never existed in the first place." Young Wall watched the carnage and stated, "So I was right." Jiam Ye shouted, "Enough with the bullshit. If you surrender, I will spare your and the other court ladies' lives. Our goal in the first place was to locate the Imperial Palace Guardians and the source of the otherworldly power." Young Wall mocked him. Tisk, your eyes are still filled with greed. Ye asked. What? Young Wall looked at him with a menacing grin and said, You thought those beasts would be enough to take the Imperial Palace Guardians on? You've underestimated us. Young Wall snapped her fingers. Ye flinched in shock. He thought to himself, If they are the court-made supervisors? Two masked women landed beside Young Wall and asked, You called? Young Wall commanded, Help the maids to kill all those beasts. The supervisors replied, Yes, ma'am. The supervisors dove into the courtyard, moving with incredible speed. One supervisor delivered a massive punch that sent a transformed monster flying. The monster laughed. Ku-ha-ha-ha. You fools. You won't put even a scratch on this body. The monster wondered in shock. What was that? He growled. You bitch. Do you know who we are? The beast swung a heavy fist, but the supervisor blocked it easily. The monster thought to himself. The blade feels as if it's been heated up under a fire for a while. The supervisor sliced through the monster's hide with a searing hand strike. The beast screamed. Kua! He realized the truth and thought. She's different from the other courtmaids. She's learned real martial arts. All of you, attack her now. The transformed soldiers rushed the supervisor, but she incinerated their limbs with her fiery strikes. Ye watched the carnage and thought. We're at a disadvantage. Even with the sturdy bodies, they can't nullify the flame attacks. Kook! This leaves us with only one choice. He lunged at Young Wall with his remaining arm. She stood still and blocked his strike with her forearm. Ye gasped. Kook! Young Wall looked at him with glowing eyes and said, Quite the bad habit you've got there, emissary Jiam. Ye stared at her arm in terror. Her arm. It's like it's coated in diamonds. Young Wall stated coldly, What a fool. I won't need to keep you alive. Just die. She grabbed Ye by the throat and squeezed. Ye screamed in agony. Kua! It feels like my neck is going to break. I have no choice. You fool. He tried to release a final burst of energy, but a sudden explosion of lightning hit his head. Ye went limp as steam rose from his body. Qian Woon stepped out from the shadows. Young Wall watched him and thought. The ominous energy coming from him is abnormal. He killed that beast with just one lightning attack too. He's dangerous. Qian Woon thought to himself. She seems very wary of me. I'll try to talk it out first. He performed a salute and said, I'm not trying to fight you. Young Wall asked, What? Qian Woon explained, I just came here because I need him, not because I want to make an enemy out of the royal family. Young Wall repeated, You need him? She erupted in a massive pillar of orange flames. Young Wall roared, You dare to play a trick against me, one of the three great supremes of the Imperial Palace Guardians? Did you think I would trust the words of a man who trespassed the Imperial Palace like it's his bedroom? Qian Woon smirked. I was away for a bit because I felt an otherworldly energy, but to think that energy was the Imperial Palace's hidden power. He observed the fire and thought to himself. I had always read from the former cult leaders that we should not break the contract with the Imperial Palace because estimating the hidden powers of the royal family is difficult. Their powers are different from your normal martial arts. It's as if Young Wall charged forward and yelled, Let's see how skilled you are. They clashed with high intensity. Qian Woon thought, did she concentrate her flames onto her left hand, thinking that the first attack would be a sure hit? Then, he lunged forward with a counterattack. He thought to himself, she sees death coming to her, yet she won't dodge it. He struck with his palm, and a massive explosion of energy occurred as Young Wall blocked the hit. She groaned as she was pushed back. Qian Woon thought to himself, I definitely pierced through her, but she didn't even bat an eye. Does she not feel pain? Young Wall landed and immediately retaliated with a stream of fire. She sent a massive pillar of flames swirling through the courtyard. When did he? He landed on the debris and looked at his opponent. Young Wall clutched her head as blood ran down her face. She groaned. Kook! Qian Woon thought to himself. Did she regenerate? It's like looking at Nano's ability. Anyway, the remaining flame chi of hers is trying to get further up my arm. It's surprising that a woman can handle flame chi like this despite all the yin energy in her. It's like the yin energy I absorbed into the heavenly demonic energy from that woman. Young Wall panted and thought to herself. He has an unbelievable amount of yin energy. It might not have been my full power, but for him to eliminate my flame chi that easily. She looked at Qian Woon and said, You've invaded the Imperial Palace. Solely depending on your martial arts to save you. Qian Woon replied calmly, I don't have any intentions of making an enemy out of the Imperial Palace. If you would just let me take him, I will leave quietly. He pointed at the dead official on the ground. He explained, This man is a spy of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect that has been scheming against the world of the Jianghu. He is to me what a corrupt organization would be to you. Young Wall asked. The supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect? This is all to stop them? Qian Yo Woon confirmed. That's right. The Zhonghu and the Imperial Palace are supposed to be neutral, but the supreme saber of 6 martial arts sect is trying to use the palace for their schemes. That is why I'm trying to find out who's behind it all to stop them. Young Wall screamed in a rage. Then I definitely cannot let you go. The founding emperor and his successors were merciful and acknowledged the Zhonghu, and now they're trying to cause internal conflict within the Imperial Palace. The Zhonghu also needs the reign of the emperor, it seems. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. I revealed quite a bit of information to try and clear the misunderstanding. But she's not listening to me at all. She has a completely different way of thinking compared to me. He spoke aloud. Well, you leave me no choice. I warned you. Young Wall asked. What? Warned me? Let's see how long you can keep up your arrogance. You can forget whatever fame you had in the Zhonghu. This is the Imperial Palace. Arrogant man of the Zhonghu. Good luck struggling against us on your own. Qian Yo Woon smirked. On my own. Young Wall looked confused. What? Qian Yo Woon asked. What gave you the idea that I am on my own? 3 figures suddenly appeared on the roof of the palace wall. Young Wall reacted in shock. What? He wasn't alone? Li Hwa Myung looked down from the roof and asked. You called? Young Wall thought to herself in terror. I missed his movements. The maid supervisors trembled. One said, I can't move at all. The other thought, what kind of overwhelming energy is this? I feel so close to death. Young Wall roared. You bastard! Is he your trump card? Myung walked forward and asked. Who dares to speak to the Lord in such a manner? Young Wall thought to herself. His energy is definitely not ordinary either. Stop, where do you think you are? If you do not stop right now, I will not warn you again. You shouldn't let your guard down just because you can use flame chi. He easily parried her fiery strike and noted. You merely use flame chi. Meanwhile, I am. He unleashed a massive wave of red energy. The sword of crimson fire that cuts through flames. A huge explosion of fire filled the courtyard as the supervisors were blown back. I meant to pierce her heart, but it seems she managed to dodge it. They've also overpowered the martial artists who used demonic blood reversal art. They possess a martial prowess comparable to that of the evolutionary realm. Young Wall gasped. How can this be? He slayed her sword with a stronger flame chi. The supervisor stared at the newcomer and asked. What? She observed his features. Flame red hair, and the crimson fire sword. Young Wall shouted in recognition. You're the Flame King, Li Hwa Myung. A soldier asked in surprise. Huh? Young Wall thought in terror. He's the Flame King. He should be in the demonic cult. Wait. Then. Are all these people? The narrator explains. The Imperial Palace Guardians protected the Imperial Palace ever since the creation of the neutrality agreement between the palace and the Zhonghu. The Zhonghu had always been a threat to the Imperial Palace, but they considered the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult to be the biggest threat. Young Wall thought to herself. The head of the organization is basically a lord, and I heard that he had 100,000 followers. Rumors say his followers are willing to jump into hellfire if that is what he orders. He's not here with evil intentions, is he? She yelled. I will ask again. Are you the demon cult's leader? I guess I can't just weasel my way out of this anymore. I apologize, Elder Yin. I did dye my hair dark before leaving the cult. But the color just comes back whenever I use my inner energy. Should I have just put a handkerchief over my head or something? Young Wall thought to herself. He's not denying it, he must be the leader. According to the law, I must immediately capture those who invade the Imperial Palace and kill them if they resist. But this is not a simple problem. She bowed and said, Then, dear leader of the Heavenly Demon Divine Cult, please forgive me for my impudence. I did not realize it was you. I do apologize, but since you did come to the Imperial Palace without any notice despite the neutrality agreement, I cannot just pretend that this did not happen. She stood up and continued. However, you are a valuable person. I will inform the head of the Imperial Palace Guardians so things can be handled more smoothly. Please come with me. Young Wall thought to herself. I assume he'll cooperate since I'm being this polite. Plus, he can't cause any more trouble here now that his identity's been revealed. Qian Yo Woon smirked. Young Wall wondered, is that grin supposed to be an agreement? Then I'll take him to the Imperial Palace Guardians. Perhaps His Imperial Majesty will be angered by this and break the non-aggression pact. Hoo, she spoke aloud. Thank you for being so understanding. Now, please follow me too. Qian Yo Woon suddenly unleashed a thin blue blade of energy that sliced through the air near her face. Young Wall gasped. Wah! What is the meaning of this? Qian Yo Woon remarked. How funny. Your tone was polite, but you meant to arrest me. Young Wall shouted. When did I say that? I'm just accompanying you so that I can report to the higher-ups, Qian Yo Woon stated. It's rather amusing to see you try to play tricks with words like a fox. My suggestion would have been beneficial on your end too. You're the one that forfeited the right of choice. Young Wall yelled, are you not afraid of the consequences of your actions? If His Imperial Majesty finds out about this, the non-aggression pact might be broken. Qian Yo Woon asked calmly, what consequences? You will all be considered dead from fighting the members of the Eastern Depot. Head Guardian, Right Guardian, spare no one. Mala Gayam and Li Hwa Myung shouted. Yes, sir. Young Wall ordered. Stop them right now. Li Hwa Myung charged and shouted. Your flames won't work on me. Young Wall watched her subordinates fall and thought. The court women cannot get up. Their innate core energy is too much for us. I can't see their movements. Is this the power of the demon cult? He just went past me as if to mock me. They're definitely looking down on the Imperial Palace's power. She erupted in intense orange flames and decided. You leave me no choice. You are now considered enemies of the Imperial Palace. I will have to exterminate the demon cult. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Her energy is different. My head guardian and right guardian are here, but I should be careful so that Hyobong doesn't get swept up into this. Her arm is as hard as steel, so I should let Hyobong know. Young Wall commanded. Imperial Palace Guardians. The masked warriors replied. Yes, ma'am. Young Wall explained. There isn't much time remaining. Let us take down that man together while his guardians are fighting the court women. The warriors thought in shock. The demon cult's leader. Young Wall continued. He was almost evenly matched with me earlier, so if you are helping, I'm sure we can bring him down. Make an opening for me. A warrior hesitated. But, Young Wall roared. Right, now, the warrior answered. Why yes, ma'am. Hyobong parried a strike and wondered. His arm. The warrior shouted. No matter the reason, you have no right to wield a sword against the demon lord. Hyobong thought to himself. I knew her arm was sturdy, but I didn't know it was this solid. That was basically all of my chi, but it didn't do anything. The guardian stated. You must be somewhere around the supreme peak. I guess not all demon cult members are strong. Nice trick, but you're no match for me. Move! Hyobong flinched as she lunged. Here she comes. He thought in surprise. When did her sword? Li Hwa Myung intervened with a flaming blade and said. If you're disappointed because he's in the supreme peak, let me fight you instead. The guardian flinched. Li Hwa Myung noted. But now it seems like you're no match for me. Could you move out of the way? He delivered a devastating fiery strike that incinerated the guardian. Young Wall watched in horror as her subordinates were slaughtered. She asked. All of them. Were killed by just the two of them. She looked at her glowing hands and thought to herself. But I'm now going to use all of my innate core energy as well as my fire chi. Now I just need to stall for time until the Imperial Army gets here. After hearing all the ruckus, Qian Yo Woon interrupted her thoughts. Seems like you're left all alone. The dark aura from Qian Yo Woon intensified. He asked, how does it feel, to be the only one remaining? Li Hwa Myung wiped his blade and said. That should be all there is. We're done over here too. It was a bit of work, but they shouldn't be able to recognize our martial arts now. Good work. Now, Young Wall launched a massive tornado of fire. Qian Yo Woon simply stood his ground. She charged forward and struck at his chest. Qian Yo Woon blocked the blow with a single hand. Young Wall grit her teeth and thought to herself. Let's see how long you can keep defending yourself. She unleashed a barrage of flaming punches. Young Wall screamed. Is that all you've got? You've severely underestimated us. A massive explosion of fire consumed the center of the courtyard. Hyobong yelled in worry. Demon Lord. I can feel the heat all the way over here. Has she been reserving her fire chi all this time? He declared. I have no choice, then. I don't know if I can cut her fire chi, but... Stop. You'll only get in the Demon Lord's way if you intervene now. Mala Gayam argued. You won't be able to slice through her fire chi. It's different from the other court ladies. Li Hwa Myung replied with a smile. I know that, but, more importantly, the Demon Lord is. Qian Yo Woon stood calmly amidst the fading flames. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. I think I've seen enough of the Imperial Palace's fire chi. Young Wall roared in a rage. You dare mock me? She lunged at him again. Qian Yo Woon moved with blurred speed. Young Wall gasped in shock. This is the swift clone technique? She spun around and shouted. Where are you looking? She suddenly realized he was behind her and thought. Behind me? Young Wall flinched. Where did he? Blue blades of energy struck her from all directions. Young Wall trembled in disbelief and thought to herself. In no way. He's not only capable of the swift clone technique but also of the void steps. This man. Qian Yo Woon landed a heavy kick to her jaw. Young Wall coughed blood and realized he hasn't even used a tenth of his true martial arts power. She fell back into the debris. She screamed desperately, "I will take you down, even if it means dying here." Qian Yo Woon drew his sword and looked at her coldly. He stated, "I believe. I warned you." A massive explosion of blue and orange energy lit up the sky. Young Wall lay on the ground, coughing blood. She groaned. Keuheuk. She noticed her wound and thought to herself, her injury has already closed up. She looked at her captors and muttered, "You bastards. You think you can just walk out of here after doing something as heinous as this?" Qian Yo Woon asked, "Why? You don't think I can?" Young Wall laughed maniacally and said, "Then do you think no one would have heard us fighting? It's only a matter of time before you're labeled enemies of the Imperial Palace." A perfect crime? Don't even dream of it. The Imperial Army and others of the Imperial Palace Guard, who are much stronger than me, will be here soon. Qian Yo Woon smiled and asked, "Noise, did you really think I didn't consider that?" Young Wall froze and asked, "What?" She looked up and saw a shimmering blue dome covering the entire palace grounds. She thought to herself, could it be? Qian Yo Woon smirked and said, "Do you get it now? No one's coming to help you." Young Wall screamed in denial. "I am possible. There is no way you could have blocked off such a large area." Qian Yo Woon asked calmly, "Can you not believe it even after seeing it for yourself?" Young Wall flinched. She thought to herself, he's not lying. I really can't hear any noise. Is his inner energy infinite? Qian Yo Woon observed the blood on her face. Your arm's already healed too. I guess cutting your limbs off won't do a thing. Then, I have to wonder if destroying your skull will have the same effect." Young Wall shouted in terror. If you kill me, all your subordinates will die too." Qian Yo Woon replied coldly. "Bullshit." Young Wall yelled. "I have locked up 3 spies in disguise in the Imperial Palace Guardian's prison." Qian Yo Woon stopped his advance. Young Wall gasped for breath. "Wait, you're not going to let them die, are you?" Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. 3 people in disguise. Must be the Darkness Sect's people. So they were captured. Young Wall smirked. She thought to herself, it worked. I knew they were his subordinates. Qian Yo Woon asked, "You locked them up in the Imperial Palace Guardian's prison?" Young Wall answered, "Why yes." Qian Yo Woon remained silent. Young Wall thought to herself, I heard that the demon cult members are cruel to their enemies but that their bond within is thicker than blood. Seems like it was true. He's not just a cold-blooded monster. I'll take him to the Imperial Palace Guardians with the excuse of freeing them. If we get there, then I'm sure the leader will get rid of all these bastards. Young Wall pleaded, if you just spare me, I can ensure that your subordinates will be freed." Qian Yo Woon suddenly swung his blade, spraying blood across the floor. Young Wall stared in shock. What is happening? Her head fell to the ground with a dull thud. Qian Yo Woon stood over her body and said, "All you do is lie, huh?" Young Wall's eyes faded. She thought to herself, Qian Yo Woon sheathed his blade. Malagayam approached and said, "Demon Lord, we have carried out your orders." Wan Yi noted, "It'll be hard to decipher the martial arts used from the corpse's injuries." Malagayam asked, "Should we leave now with him, Demon Lord?" Qian Yo Woon answered, "That's what I was planning. But it seems that the Darkness Sect's squad leaders have been captured." Malagayam reacted, "I may be stepping over the line, but are you trying to free them?" "It'll be too dangerous, Demon Lord." Li Hw Amyong added, "It's a shame, but why don't we give up on rescuing them? They were trained to prepare for this exact scenario. I'm sure they will end their own lives if they decide that escape is impossible." Even the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect were unable to find out about the Imperial Palace Guardians. Is there really no choice but to leave them behind? Qian Yo Woon stated firmly, "I appointed them myself. I am not fit to be in my position if I abandon them like this." Demon Lord, Qian Yo Woon continued, "More importantly, we cannot let them die in the hands of these people." Li Hw Amyong asked, "Then what will you do? We've taken care of the evidence here. But in order to find the squad leaders, we'll need to get through their security." Malagayam suggested, "There might be a way. I left one of the court maids alive just in case. Let us interrogate her." Li Hw Amyong asked, "Do you really think she'll confess, head guardian?" Malagayam replied, "I'm sure she won't. Could I suggest a plan, Demon Lord?" A court maid slowly woke up amidst the field of corpses. She gasped, "Huke! I passed out. This is the first time this has happened since I took that." What happened? She looked around at the blood and trembled. What happened while I was out? Or is this all a nightmare? Where's the second supreme? And no, second supreme. Was everyone killed while I was out? These monsters. She struggled to stand. How much time has passed? I need to go tell the Imperial Palace Guardians right now. Oh, and no. My feet. Two figures in guard uniforms approached her. One shouted, there's a live court maid. The maid flinched in shock. Hyo Bong, in disguise, said, Ah, what? You're one of the supervising court maids. Are you all right? The maid asked. I am all right. When did you get here? Hyo Bong explained. We came here because we heard some ruckus. But the entire place was already a field of corpses. Another one of us just went to report the situation, so I'm sure others will be here soon. The maid thought to herself. It hasn't been long then. She spoke urgently. I need to report to the higher-ups of the Imperial Palace Guardians right away so that the demon cult members can't run away. I am sorry, but do you think you can help me? Hyo Bong replied, Of course. We need to get you to a physician right awa, the maid interrupted. No, it's much more important than that. There are very dangerous enemies in the palace right now. We need to report this immediately. Hyo Bong shouted. What? Is that true? That's horrible, but the embroidered uniform guards will be here soon. Don't worry, the maid yelled. No, not them. Please carry me on your back. Since I cannot walk, I will guide you. Hyo Bong hesitated. But you need a physician, the maid begged. Please? There is no time. Hurry. Hyo Bong smirked secretly. He said aloud. Well, if it's that urgent, then, get on. The maid pointed. That way. Hyo Bong ran while carrying the maid, with Cheon Yo Woon following behind. The maid thought to herself. Do you think you could run faster? Hyo Bong asked. But you're not in a good state. Are you sure? The maid answered. Don't worry about me. Hyo Bong replied. All right, hold on tight. They moved with incredible speed. The maid thought to herself. She's fast. I knew the embroidered uniform guards learn martial arts, but to this extent. Plus, that other one isn't falling behind either. These guards' Chingung must be higher in proficiency than a first-rate martial artist's. The maid pointed ahead. Ah, we're almost there. This way. Cheon Yo Woon observed the location. He thought to himself. This is the Imperial Tomb? They reached the base of a staircase. The maid ordered, Stop here. Hyo Bong flinched as the maid leaned in on his back. He thought to himself, Shush, she's breathing in my ear. The maid suddenly struck a pressure point on his neck. Hyo Bong groaned. Kek. Oh, what are you doing? The maid identified herself. I am a third-grade civil servant of the Imperial Palace Guardians. I take direct orders from His Imperial Majesty. You must forget everything you saw and heard here. Otherwise, I will have you killed as His Imperial Majesty orders. She gestured toward the entrance and said, Go inside now. Hyo Bong asked nervously. I in there? The maid snapped. Hurry, there is no time. Hyo Bong replied. Hold on tight then. The maid watched them enter and thought to herself. I feel bad for them. They helped me, but since they are not permitted to enter this place, they must be killed upon entrance. Hyo Bong looked at the signage and thought to himself. It really is the Imperial Tomb of the founding emperor. But why are we here? They stepped into a grand hall. Hyo Bong gasped. Oh, they saw a massive statue of the emperor bathed in light. The maid asked sternly, Why do you stay still upon seeing the founding emperor of the great Ming Empire? Hyo Bong stammered. Huh? That's... Cheon Yo Woon interrupted. Of course, we should bow down to the founding emperor, but there's no incense set here. And did you not say that we're in a hurry? The maid noted. I did. If you go to the right from here, there should be a red cloth with a golden dragon sewn onto it. Go toward it. Hyo Bong answered. All right. Cheon Yo Woon thought to himself. A hidden pathway behind the tomb. It's definitely clever. No one would ever think of it. The maid commanded. Please go a bit closer to the wall. Cheon Yo Woon looked at the carvings and thought to himself. A blue wall? Is it all jade? And the drawing? Is it a kirin? The narrator explains. Kirins, also called incarnations of fire. They exude flames from their body. It's an ancient mythical creature mentioned even in the three classics. Like Feng Wang's, they are considered a symbol for the appearance of an enlightened ruler. Cheon Yo Woon observed the craftsmanship and thought to himself. A drawing like this behind the founding emperor's altar. Interesting. What's more concerning is the way they carved this drawing. It looks like it was done with a finger. The artist must have possessed quite the immense chi. The maid ordered. There is no time to gawk. Please get closer to the wall with the drawing. Hyo Bong asked. Like this? As they touched the wall, a mechanism activated. Cheon Yo Woon thought to himself. I can feel a much stronger and otherworldly energy from inside there than what I felt from the supervising court lady. I guess the Imperial Palace Guardians Hall is really in here. The maid said. We need to hurry. Hyo Bong replied. All right. They moved into a dark tunnel. I didn't know a place like this existed in the Imperial Palace. Shouldn't there be jails here too since it's so spacious? Do you know where they could be? The maid answered coldly. That's not a question a mere guard like you should be asking. Just follow my orders. Hyobong fumed silently. Ahem, he thought to himself. How dare she talk like that to the demon lord? I'm at my limit. I'm going to kill her right. Qian Yo Woon sniffed the air and thought to himself. The smell of blood? The narrator explains. Imperial Palace Guardians Hall Central Pathway. They found a hallway littered with bodies. The maid gasped. What? Hyobong wondered. The guards that are supposed to stand watch. Ish how? The maid thought to herself. This was unexpected. There were visitors before us. This voice. Qian Yo Woon dropped the lantern. He thought to himself. I guess I don't need to keep my act up anymore. Qian Yo Woon released a dark pressure and asked. Let me ask you again. Where are the jails in the Imperial Palace Guardians Hall? The maid trembled and thought to herself. I am certain. This overwhelming feeling. He's the leader of the demon cult. But his voice is different. Did he use some kind of skill to change his voice? I thought they killed everyone and escaped. Why would he deceive me? Wait. He's trying to infiltrate the Imperial Palace Guardians Hall? That must mean that this man is with him. She reached for her weapon. Qian Yo Woon moved with blinding speed and slashed through her. She gasped. Qian Yo Woon asked his subordinate. Hyobong, are you all right? Hyobong answered. Well, yes. I thought I was fast in unsheathing my sword. Just how much faster is the demon lord? He looked at the corpses and asked. Anyway, what could have happened here? Qian Yo Woon checked a wound on a dead guard and explained. This is our cult's sword technique. And that's the second form of the Boomy Absolute Sword. The traces of martial arts I can see on the corpses are all our cult's martial arts. Anyone would be able to assume that this was the doing of our cult's members. He looked at Hyobong and added. Hyobong, I don't think this is going to end with just rescuing the squad leaders. Hyobong asked. Sorry, the narrator explains. Imperial Palace Guardians Hall 6th Central Room. A large man in white robes held a massive blade. The narrator explains. He was the Imperial Palace Guardian Master, First Great Supreme. A messenger reported. First Great Supreme. There is a problem. They've gotten through the 5th room. I think they'll arrive here soon. The master asked in shock. What? The Imperial Palace Guardians Hall has never been invaded before. How can this be happening? He thought to himself. We're missing a third of our forces and the Second Great Supreme. Was this planned? Coming all the way in here must mean that they're after the treasure. We need to stop them no matter what. He commanded his guards. We cannot let the enemies get through to the 7th room. No matter what. Dark energy seeped through the doorway. The master flinched and thought to himself. This bloodlust. I can hardly breathe. A man with a blood-stained sword smirked. Just how many people have they killed for their brown capes? The master watched the intruders and asked. To be painted red with blood. The woman in the center complained. Man, the bugs in here just keep coming and coming. One of the attackers suggested. We need to be wary of our traces. Go ahead and take the treasure and leave them to us. The woman replied. All right. The guardians charged forward. How dare you try and trespass? Die. The woman sighed. Ha! She unleashed a blue energy that shredded her attackers instantly. She watched them fall and muttered. Parasites. The narrator explains. The Imperial Palace Guardians Hall hidden underneath the Great Imperial Tomb is made up of 7 rooms. The 7th room is known to be located at the deepest level, and even the 2nd and 3rd Supremes are rarely allowed entry. In a deep underground tunnel, a sect executive grunted. It's hot. No, it's getting hotter. I'm sweating despite protecting my body with my inner energy. The woman walking beside him asked. Are you all right? Are you struggling just from this? The man thought to himself. She's not even breaking a sweat. As expected of the Supreme Saber of 6 martial arts sect executive. Her level of inner energy is on a whole other dimension. The woman announced. I think we're here. The man looked at a dead end and asked. A wall? There's another entrance here. There's writing on the wall. The text on the wall warned. Those who desire treasure shall die trapped here. Those who force their way out of here shall be crushed here to death. The woman noted. What a creepy warning. I thought it was just a regular wall, but now that I'm looking at it from up close, it's a brick wall. She paused and whispered. Wait! She inspected the masonry. Ha! The bricks are shaped strangely from here onwards. They've built it so that the entire structure will come falling down if you were to destroy the pathway. The man commented. There must be something different in there. I'm sure they're trying to stall time. The woman scoffed. HMPH. It's all pointless. Let's go. The man responded. Yes, ma'am. The narrator explains. Imperial Palace Guardians Hall 4th Room. A sect leader stood over a pile of corpses and yawned. Hua tilde. This is so boring. What a joke that I, a sect leader, have to put the traces of the demonic cult's sword techniques on these bodies. I'm almost done, though. That monstrous woman should have already reached the treasure by now. I'll have to hurry. He suddenly flinched. A presence? It can't be. Are reinforcements here already? It's way too early. Whoa! There are even more here. He noticed Qian Yo Woon approaching in disguise. That outfit, it smells even worse here. Ah! Found him. Embroidered uniform guard? Wow, Tilda, I finally caught up to you. The sect leader thought to himself. He's pointing at me? How rude. He's just a kid. He looks like his in the supreme peak at most. His arrogance knows no bounds. He asked aloud, Are you here alone? Qian Yo Woon replied, What's that got to do with you? The sect leader laughed. Ha, you should be afraid. All right, I was getting bored anyway. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Sure, you can try. The sect leader smirked. I don't know where you're getting this audacity, but I hope you'll hold up for long. He lunged forward with a horizontal slash. Qian Yo Woon dodged and struck him with a blast of blue energy. The sect leader groaned. Keu-heuk. He coughed blood. He thought to himself in shock. I didn't sense his presence at all. He overpowered me with just one move. I didn't know there was someone like that in the embroidered uniform guards. Damn it. I managed to avoid getting hit somewhere vital, but my internal injury is bad. I need to hold up until someone comes to help me. Qian Yo Woon appeared above him. You're quite dramatic. The man wheezed. Qian Yo Woon asked. Did you think I wouldn't know if you played a trick like this using my cult's martial arts? The sect leader stared in terror and thought. My cult. Then he's someone from the demon cult. Wait, how are they here? Qian Yo Woon struck him again. Kua. He walked toward the broken man. I will cut one limb off for every time you refuse to answer. The sect leader trembled. Keu-heuk. This bastard is a psychopath. The narrator explains. Imperial Palace Guardians Hall 6th room. The palace guards were being slaughtered. One gasped. Kiek. Each one of them possesses a martial prowess equal or higher than mine. Why is this happening to the Imperial Palace Guardians Hall? He looked at the woman leading the attack. And this monstrous woman they called the Bloodblade Master. It only took her one skill to cut off both my arms, rendering my powerless. Am I to just sit and watch my warriors die? Damn it, just how evil can they be? A palace guardian yelled. Do not give up, we cannot let them through. The Bloodblade Master laughed. Kukik. Now, how many are left? An intruder replied. Let's see. 5, I'll take care of them. He wondered. What is this vibration? The first Great Supreme shouted in a panic. Spearblade Master, move! The ceiling above them suddenly exploded into fragments. The Spearblade Master leapt away and thought to himself. Ugh, that was close. That would have been a rather unfortunate way to get injured. What? He looked at the silhouette standing in the dust and thought to himself. A silhouette in the dust. I can't sense his chi at all. It seems like he's an ordinary person. Who could it be? Qian Yo Woon, disguised as a royal guard, flicked his hand to clear the debris. The Spearblade Master thought in shock. Just a flick of his hand, and all the dust settled. Just who is this man? He noticed the body beside the newcomer and yelled. Steel Blade Master? The narrator explains. Earlier, Qian Yo Woon stood over the bloodied body of the Steel Blade Master and asked. There are 4 more other than you? The master coughed and replied. Well, yes. Qian Yo Woon looked closer and noted. There's a parasite in his head too. The master groaned. Kook. Qian Yo Woon thought to himself. Did he reveal this information to me on purpose so that he could die? Quite the transparent tactic. The master gasped as the parasite took effect. Kook. Qian Yo Woon looked around the empty hallway and thought to himself. Anyway, the reason they infiltrated this place was for the Kirin blood. Who knows what might happen if this man's group actually obtains it? I should hurry, but these floors are so large, it takes quite a long time to get anywhere. What should I do? He looked at the floor and decided. I knew this would be a shortcut. The scene returned to the present in the 6th room. The Spearblade Master thought to himself. I can't believe it. The first Great Supreme wondered. Reinforcements? A palace guard cheered with joy. His Majesty has sent reinforcements. Whoa! The Spearblade Master grit his teeth and thought to himself. You're telling me that the Steelblade Master was killed by a mere embroidered uniform guard? There's no way. He charged forward and roared. You've got balls coming in here. No, he's acting too rashly. We don't even know what level his martial arts is. The Spearblade Master swung his weapon and yelled. Gee, get out of the way. Qian Yo Woon walked forward calmly to meet the attack. The first Great Supreme thought to himself. He's taking it face on? I don't think I could deflect that attack even if I were in my best condition. What is he planning to do? The Spearblade Master thought to himself. Idiot. He's trying to kill himself. This technique is the pinnacle of spearmanship created on the foundation of Supreme Saber Divine Martial Arts. You won't be able to block TH. Qian Yo Woon moved his hands with fluid precision, deflecting every strike. The Spearblade Master thought in disbelief. I can't believe it. He's deflected every single one of it. That technique. It's the ultimate delightful murder blade. The fifth form of the supreme saber divine martial arts. How can a mere guard like him? The spear blade master clutched his bloodied hand and groaned. Shit. My hands hurt. I can't defeat him, even when I'm using 10-star chi. He pointed his sword and yelled. You! Who are you? How can a member of the Imperial Palace know our tech? Qian Yo Woon appeared instantly at his side and said. You talk too much. Blood sprayed from the spear blade master's side as he flinched. He thought to himself in terror. What just happened? I couldn't even see him, let alone sense his presence. You're telling me he's really one of the embroidered uniform guards? Qian Yo Woon vanished again. The spear blade master shouted. He disappeared. Spear blade master. Behind you. Qian Yo Woon launched a flurry of strikes from every angle. The spear blade master thought to himself. The afterimage of each movement is different. How is that possible? The first great supreme watched in shock. The different techniques are unifying into one. Qian Yo Woon unleashed a final, spinning drill of energy that pierced his opponent. The spear blade master screamed. Keu-heuk. He collapsed to the floor and thought to himself. How could I have lost? Qian Yo Woon looked down and said. Sorry, but I'm in too much of a hurry for me to take my time with you. The palace guards cheered. Whoa, he's defeated the enemy. The first great supreme thought to himself. I'm shivering. There was someone that skilled in the embroidered uniform guards. No, even the most powerful man of the guards doesn't possess that level of martial arts. Another cloaked intruder watched from the shadows and thought. You're telling me he defeated the spear blade master with just 2 techniques? We were told that there wasn't anyone in the embroidered uniform guards that would be a match for us. So who is he? Qian Yo Woon turned his gaze toward him and asked. Are you the last one here? The intruder flinched. Qian Yo Woon blasted him back with a wave of energy. The intruder groaned. TCH. Qian Yo Woon smirked. The intruder thought to himself. I need to get away. I'd just end up like the spear blade master otherwise. I need to get out of here and lure him to the blood blade master. He turned and sprinted away, but found his path blocked by a wall of floating blue swords. The intruder gasped. What the hell? Qian Yo Woon landed in front of him and asked. Did you think you could get away from me?